The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at HMB Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those of you who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack this like I'm Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is Friday, October 25th, 2024. I am your host, Scott Lewis. And of course, you can follow me on all social media platforms at Barbershare Scott. You can follow the Barbershare Network at Barbershare Net on all social media platforms. Follow our partners as well, H&B Media, at HMB Media TV on Twitter, and at HMB Media on Instagram. And of course, you can subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershare Network. You see the QR code right up there on the screen. You scan that, it'll take you right to the link for our Barbershare Network Patreon with 4 different tiers. If you're looking for the summer sessions, news episodes, I know it's been a month. Hopefully we drop next week. It's been a lot of stuff. Me and Pappy been out the country, and a lot of people's schedules been crazy. So we're going to try to knock one out for y'all next week. But you can also subscribe to the main tier, which is the Barbershare All Access tier, which is $10, and you will get 25% off your first order with the Barbershare Network shop. That is bcnetshop.com. You can get all your I'm Not Gonna Hold You merch. You can get all your 79th and Hallis merch. Anything, everything we got up there, 79th and Hallis 10-year anniversary merch as well, man. So remember, that is for first time subscribers for that 25% off code, man. But we've got a good show on deck for y'all today. Larry Legend will join us later on in the show for Respect the Culture. Courtney is out today. She is out celebrating, doing her thing, about to watch her football team this weekend. So we'll get up with Courtney next week. Mike, you'll be joining us in just a minute. We're about 5-10 minutes late today because we were dealing with technical difficulties. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Gonna bring in my 2 co-hosts, JR Bang and Dante. Dante has got the haircut, as Mikey said, looking like Michael Penix Jr. with the headband on. You can follow Dante at OctoberZonte on Twitter, and you can follow JR Bang at JR Bang on all social media platforms, man. How y'all niggas feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. It's homecoming weekend, so a lot of people coming in town, a lot of messages. So I'm excited, man.
Oh yeah, it's homecoming. So yeah, all y'all old niggas excited. Yeah. Homecoming. Well, damn near every nigga that said homecoming is an old nigga. That's basically.
It's for us, bro. We tell the young niggas all the time, this is not for you, brother. Go back over there.
Orlando said Dante looking like Gilly.
I'm gonna look like a lot of people. I take this motherfucker off. I look like Alex when he used to ask people, is you GD or not? So, I'm gonna look like quite a few people for a minute.
What made you cut your hair off? What was it? Was a decision?
It was just time. I just wanted, new energy, something different. I hadn't got a real haircut since the pandemic.
Oh, damn, nigga. Okay.
Yeah, so it was just time for something different. That's all.
You kept it clean, you kept it moisturized. It didn't look like you ain't had a haircut since the pandemic. After quarantine, nigga, it looked like I was hidden in a cave somewhere, nigga. Like I went like 8 months without a haircut. Nuts. But I'm feeling good, man. It's my birthday weekend. I will be 36 at midnight. So old niggas link up. Not gonna do much this week, have some dinner. Gonna kick it with the guys. Well, not just the guys. We'll kick it with a couple of the homies this weekend. Bang will be one of the people that we're gonna watch the Bears and the Commanders and whatever other games. We're gonna gamble too. I'm not gonna tell you where we're gonna be at because I don't want y'all niggas to be meeting me over there. But this is for invite only. But should be good, especially with I used to be scared of getting old, getting into your 30s. When you're 15, when you're teenage years, when you're 20s, you get 30, it's like 60. But so much death around. I'm just glad to still be here, man. With it's especially in 2024, with so much going on, man. Definitely need to send our RIP to DJ Clark Kent, man. Like that one, I won't say it came out of nowhere. Of course, we had the rumors last week, which were debunked, but obviously there was some type of thing, some type of truth in it. But man, we lose a lot of massive pioneers in hip hop. Lost, Fat Man Scoop not too long ago, man. Lost Mr. C probably a year ago, and it's just he had colon cancer, Clark Kent, man. So or as my mother told me a couple of days ago, I was having a conversation about sometimes I'm be feeling like talking to people, and she was like, don't take your friends for granted because you never know what can happen, and you just see stuff like that. So this stuff I was thinking about as I turned 36. I'm on the other side of 30. I'm officially in my mid 30s, I guess is what you want to call the mid 30s. I guess you want to call it that. So, but definitely RIP Clark Kent, man. As a Jay-Z stan, we wouldn't have Jay-Z. We wouldn't have Rockefeller if it weren't for Clark Kent. He introduced Biggie to Jay. He introduced Biggie to Dame. He introduced Dame to Jay. And it just showed everything, man. So definitely prayers up to him. Mike, you'll be joining us soon as he gets his computer situation set up. Yeah, man. Also, shout out our super producer, Nikhil, in the background, holding it down for us today on the show. Let's just get right into it with the Chicago Bears, man. The playoffs begin now. That's why I want to start this at right now, man. I think the playoffs for the beloved starts this Sunday in Landover, Maryland. It's not even really DC. I learned that last year. What pissed me off about going to the Commanders game last year on Thursday Night Football was I left DC at an appropriate time. I left DC 2 hours before the fucking game started. And I still didn't walk in until it was literally the national anthem was playing. That's how confusing it is to get inside of the worst stadium in football. I don't know what the new name is, not FedEx Field anymore. It's such a bad stadium that it makes Soldier Field look like SoFi. And that's pretty much all you need to know about that stadium, man. But the Bears, I feel like right now the playoffs begins because there's so much implications already. Just look at the Minnesota Vikings. I tweeted 2 weeks ago that was the most unsafe 5-0 record I've ever seen in my life. Now look at it, 5-2 for them, back-to-back losses. Lost Detroit last week, lost to the Rams last night. By the way, watching that game, I was so happy that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were not active when they played in Soldier Field 3 weeks ago. It might have been a different thing. That is a different team with those two dudes out there, and I just don't believe they're going to trade Cooper Kupp. I don't buy that whatsoever. But back-to-back losses for the Vikings. It was a face mask that should have been called on Sam Darnold. But what Dave Phil said, yeah, but I mean, who fucking cares? Like, my hate watch last night was successful, and if the Bears win on Sunday, the Vikings will be in last place. That is just crazy how deep this division is. Detroit's going to play Tennessee on Sunday. They could be looking at 6-1 in the face. The Packers been playing good ball, and it's just something that's been coming together. And I think for the Bears right now, you can't, before we even look at the Packers game, before we even look at the fucking gauntlet from hell, you have to take care of business in these next 3 games. And that's why I believe the playoffs begin now. Let's see if we can get Mikey in here. Let's see if the audio has been fixed. Mikey, can you speak now?
Yo,
there we go. It working. There we go. We got Mikey here. You can follow here, Junior_Solito on Twitter. I see you got is that the Otani jersey you got on?
Got the Otani. You know where my money's at tonight.
Game 1. Other words, we got a shorter show today because I wanted to watch the full fucking game. So Mikey, how you feeling on this weekend?
I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I'm getting ready for this big game. I'm hoping the Bears take a page out of me and let their hair down on these hoes in DC this week and show out.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. I just want a nice, relaxing weekend for my birthday. You know what I noticed for me when I get older? I never really been a massive birthday dude outside when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was like, it's the holiday and shit like that. I had great birthdays as a kid. As an adult, I just like as long as I have some good food, some good alcohol, and I get to kick it with my people, I'm fine. Like it could be very, very low key type of weekend. But I honestly, I was telling my brother this the other day. He was laughing. I like getting my ass kissed for 24 hours. I'm not gonna lie. Like my phone will be off D&D on tomorrow, which is never off D&D on Saturdays. I like getting my ass kissed for 24 hours. Like I'm not ashamed to admit that. I'm the nigga who will retweet every birthday wish on Twitter. Y'all kiss my ass. It's
I used
just
to
gonna
be that
happen.
guy.
I'm forever that guy, and I'm gonna keep being that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Not even gonna wish you happy birthday now, knowing that that's your MO. I'm not even gonna wish you happy birthday now.
Man, I'm gonna send that nigga a voice note. He can't say shit.
Right.
But you
And
know
also,
what?
you don't. Also, ain't nobody should be wishing no man happy birthday before noon. Okay,
That's
so
also very true.
Yeah.
That's also very true. I agree with
But
that.
no,
Remember
I
in
send.
high school let's cut you off, man.
No,
Remember
go
in
ahead,
high
go ahead.
school where women used to come with the dollar, attached to it. When people get money for their birthday, and it'd
I
be
just seen
attached to
grown
their
hoes
Oh,
do
I
that.
ain't never, I ain't never seen that.
yeah.
seen
I used to rob them hoes.
I remember a nigga came up when we was a curio. A nigga came up there, was like, "Y'all ain't gonna give me no dollar," and shot my boy Mike. He said, "Boy, if you get your ass fuck up out of here, you was a boy, Damon. Like you not
It's
getting
a
no
word for
money.
that. It's a word for that we
It's a
can't
word for
use.
that we
Slur.
cannot use.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Slur.
Slur.
a
And when
certain
you,
slur.
if you ever listen to an episode of First Black Champ, Camp and I be like, yo, get this slur up out of here. We just use
Right.
slur.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's that Michael Sam.
But no, what I was saying is actually, man, for people that I actually rock with, I'll send a voice note instead of just like that. Cause then you can express like, okay, if this person you got like y'all cool, trying to if that's your man's or whatever, no, I'll send you a voice note so you can know and understand. Cause sometimes niggas be sending you birthday notes and you can keep that shit. Like there just be some dry ass happy birthday and shit, and you be like, man, get the fuck up out of
no,
here.
you know what annoys me when if I have a personal relationship with somebody and they wish me happy birthday on social media, motherfucker, you have my number, and I do the
Right.
same. I do the same thing. Like if I see one of the homies, one of the homegirls, their birthday on social media, I will respond to them in a text because I ain't. I don't. That's just me. I like to personalize a little bit because I actually know you, but. Shout out to everybody watching on Instagram. Shout out Keith. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But let's just get right into like I was saying with the Bears. Playoffs begins now. You have no time to waste. We're gonna find out a lot what kind of Bears team this is on Sunday. We're gonna get more into the actual breakdown of the game at the end of the local short hour because really not gonna be an hour today. We don't have too much to go over, but I want to see
It's the
urgency from the
local
Bears.
hour.
Yeah, there's the artwork. Thank you, Bang, for the reminder. There we go.
It's the
We've been
local hour.
this is a local hour. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But
yes.
all Bears on this one today. There's nothing to talk about any of the other teams. But I want to see them take care of business. You know, I've seen a lot of people saying, well, the Packers game might get flexed. Finish your breakfast first, my nigga. Like that's a whole month away. Let's take care of these 3 games, one game at a time. You worry about the Washington Commanders. No matter if Jayden Daniels goes out there or whether it's Marcus Mariota, you've got to be prepared. And I just want to see that instinct because I've said it. I've been saying I don't know what kind of team this is yet. One thing I am confident about is that Caleb Williams is a guy. Is that Caleb Williams? We're watching his floor right now. He's gonna fuck up again. He's a rookie. That just comes with the territory. But I think it's all up. It's all up from here. The actual team, I don't know. I have to see them against legitimate competition, and then we can go from there. So the Bears have a real good opportunity to prove it to themselves, man. I'm gonna go to Dante first, man. Do you think that the playoffs begin now for the Bears, or do you still think it's a little bit too early for all that talk?
I think if you want to make the playoffs, the push starts now because we talked about how difficult the schedule gets from the back end, and we still don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed everything I've seen from Caleb, but there is some truth to the side that's saying, well, he's doing this against bad defenses because he is. And so I understand that, that's a part of the job. You take care of business when you're supposed to, and he's done that. But I want to see how he plays as the competition rises. I want to see what the final structure of this offensive line is because, Larry Borum is coming back. We've heard that Nate Davis is on the trade block. So he's probably going to be up out of there, whether it's the rotation or just the team period. So seeing what the final rotation is for that offensive line and how they play together and, seeing where we go from there. But no, I think the playoffs definitely start now. Your push for that because just a division that we all think is going to take 12, 13 games to win it. So, I mean, you want to be in that 11, 12 range if you want to get a wild card. So you have to stack these wins up when you can. I know we talked about it in theory, but now it really looks like, especially if Jayden sits, you can go 5-0 in this stretch, and that'll have you set up at 7-2 going into the toughest part of your schedule. So I think the playoff push definitely starts now. I think they're capable of doing it, and I'm interested to see if there are any moves, because we talk about how, we've heard Brad Biggs and, reading the tea leaves saying they don't think they're going to make any major moves unless something happens, somebody gets hurt, and we don't see that happening. So I'm interested to see where they go as a team, because I think this team is deep at key positions. It's not going to be like the last couple of years where somebody gets hurt and then they, the production in that skill group falls off a cliff. I think we're stacked everywhere, and so it's going to be interesting to see, how they just continue to grow together. But I think the playoff push definitely starts now.
Bang, man, what you think the Bears' attitude should be right now heading into these 3 extremely winnable games?
Playoffs? Talking about playoffs? Playoffs? Hell yeah, it's playoffs. Yes, the playoffs starts now. When you have a division like the NFC North where everybody everybody got 2 losses now.
Or everybody except for Detroit.
Oh yeah, except for Detroit, I forgot. Well, everybody but Detroit got 2 losses. Technically the Bears are 1 game down because they played lesser games. This is the most competitive division. So yes, the playoff starts now. You essentially have to win not only the majority of your games, you got to win your division games. All y'all keep saying is, and now that the Bears have the hardest division with the hardest schedule in the NFL, that's because their schedule was backloaded. So in order for them to get what they would like to get, which is into the tournament, they have to win, not out, but they not only have to win these non-divisional games and maybe split with Detroit and Green Bay, they got to win in convincing fashion in these next couple of games. They can't be close games. As I said last episode, you blow out the teams that you're supposed to beat so you can play close against the teams that you're not supposed to beat. So if the Bears are not supposed to beat Detroit and not supposed to beat Green Bay, you can eke out some close games or just dominate them. But they need to beat the shit out of Washington, Arizona, and especially the New England Patriots.
So
they don't even like each other no more.
You're looking for style points in these.
Oh, we need this style points have to come. When you look at the Washington Commanders, that need to come just off of the fact that could be a tiebreaker game.
Yeah.
Or you can see them in the playoffs. Right now, if the playoffs started today, this would be your first round matchup.
Yep.
So you beat the shit out of this team to let this team know that it ain't sweet if we have to see you in the playoffs.
And I think that Jalen Johnson is already instilling that mentality. They asked him today, it doesn't matter who plays, Jayden Daniels or Marcus Mariota. He said, it don't matter. We're going to kick whoever as it is, which is what I want to hear from our defense. Mikey, what you think about, how the mentality should be, thinking about playoffs, and for the fan base too, what should the expectations be going into these 3 games?
Well, these next 3 games coming up, and obviously it starts in DC this weekend. This is going to be the catalyst of what either makes this team a playoff team or not. I'm not in agreement with Bang with the style points, because you don't get extra points and you don't get ranked higher in the NFC for style points, but you do need to beat your conference foes. And the Commanders are obviously a team that is in your conference, that is right now leading their division at 5-2. But with the loss this week to the Bears, things could get a little bit tricky because similar to us, they have division games coming up, and we know how that goes. So I think the Commanders can lose this game and still find a way to go ahead and get in the playoffs, winning their division. I don't think that the Bears can make the playoffs by losing games to the Commanders and the Cardinals and still try to get in later on in the in the winter time. So just go out there, flex on defense. Everything runs off of the defense with this team, the intensity. That's the team that's been together the longest on this group. That's the team that has the most veterans on this group. And go out there and and show out. I think that I really do love Jalen Johnson's tone. You can tell that they're coming out of the bye with a little bit of a aggression, target on their back. They're ready to kind of go out there and prove the naysayers wrong. And this, you have to remember, this is the first time guys like Jayden Johnson, Cole Kmet have been on real competitive teams, that actually have a chance to make some noise. So I'm really excited, for this weekend and this next 3-game stretch, because I do believe 7-2 is obtainable. And at 7-2, you put yourself in a really good position, no matter how these games go, with the division.
Hey, Mikey, let me ask you a question. You Puerto Rican, so y'all don't really necessarily have this problem. You just let your hair down and then just do some shit like that, and then the hoes be on you. Style give an ugly nigga confidence. Right now, the Bears,
they the ugly nigga.
They the ugly nigga. But
I don't think so. I think they got a decent little fit. You know who they are right now? They my man talking about I ain't fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they might not. Right? Listen, right now they Lacoste polo 7-2 going into Packer week. They Micah Miri, they got Marnie, they might got the Gucci beanie. Like I see what you're saying, but it's more confidence. Yeah, it's more confidence.
Yeah. I ain't talking about like the rankings and shit. Like you go up into DC and you beat the shit out of the Commanders, no matter who play, because of everything they've been saying about this team right here and how they've been talking about you. You go out there and you beat this team, and if Jayden Daniels play and you beat the shit out of him, oh man,
I think in order to get the style points for the Washington game, Jayden's got to play.
He's got to play. Because the crutches. The crutch has already been established. That's why I don't care about the style points or what the talking heads will be saying on Monday, because either way, they're going to find a way to spin it. So just win the games, worry about taking care of the Commanders, the Cardinals, and the Patriots. Those 3 games. Get to that week, what is that, week 11 game or week 12 game with the Packers. You win that week, listen, the hoes are going to be lining up. The hoes are going to be lining up on Monday. Every FS1, ESPN, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk. You find a way to go ahead and beat the Packers, and now you 8-2. Like, all right, we can't front. We can't front no more.
So, Bang, you saying the Bears are Alvin Johnson from Love Don't Cost a Thing?
No,
they beat the Commanders.
No,
that's when Christina Milian.
I don't want to go that far. I'm just saying that these are the teams that you need to beat. So when you beat them in good style, when you walk back in the locker room, it builds your confidence up. So then when you go up against these big niggas, you come out the house already like, man, ain't nobody fucking with us. That's what they need to do. I ain't worried about the talk heads. I'm worried about internally, because this is also a team that they already beat the shit out of. They beat the shit out of this team last year.
And I just want to tell you, they're very aware of that for a couple reasons. I think that the reason where you were talking about they want to put dominance on there, DJ Moore still remembers the big game he had.
Mm-hmm.
He came out on Wednesday. By the way, Wednesday was a very light day. Like I said, the vibes are high up in Hallis Hall. Like, but DJ sat in on Caleb's press conference, asked the nigga why he didn't go to Maryland and shit like that. But they asked him, like, are you gonna go for another 233 touchdowns? He said, ask me later during the week. Like, he still remembers that. And one story that nobody's talking about, Montez Sweat is returning back to DC.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tez want to get a little revenge over there too, and I think that's something that nobody's really talking about as well.
I'll give you one more. Like, yeah, we did go, to DC last year on Thursday Night Football and beat them. I would say this is a completely different defensive line that we'll be seeing. There is no
yeah.
Montez Sweat.
Yeah.
There is no Josh Allen.
Ain't no Jonathan Allen.
Or Jonathan Allen. You go ahead and you add a Bobby Wagner. That's a big piece of the linebacker core. But Emmanuel Forbes is still back there, cornerback. I forgot the other gentleman's name that's back there, but that was who that's who Justin Fields and DJ Moore picked apart. Now, that's not saying that this is a different offense with Caleb Williams. So you're gonna have to find a different way to beat them. But the Bears should have extreme utmost confidence in going into DC and getting the job done. I know later on when we get to our picks and we break down the game, I got some stats, but this game heavily favors this year's Chicago Bears.
But like you said earlier, there won't be any bets today because they're hiding a lot of the numbers.
Yeah,
in these games. There's no odds out yet, which is very interesting to your boy. But
it's gone up to Chicago Bears -3 now.
Okay.
So I think the books are taking into account that Jayden Daniels will not play.
Yeah, and that's the perfect segue. We talk about the injuries in this game and, some of the roster moves. Jayden Daniels is officially listed as questionable. Before Adam Schefter announced it, the Bears sent us their injury report and also the Commanders' injury report, officially questionable. It sounded earlier like he was going to be game time, but after the question went away, Jayden Daniels' press conference sounded like, he said, I want to play, but it's not up to me. He's not going to play on Sunday. Like, you had Mariota take the number one reps all week. I would be stunned. And for it to, like, Jayden's a rookie. He's not a guy that I feel like you can just throw out there without no game reps. It's not like you have like Josh Allen or Lamar or Pat who've been in the league for a certain amount of years and they don't really need to practice to be available on game day. I don't think he's going to practice whatsoever. You've got Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon will both be out. Jaquan is still in concussion protocol. Kyler's coming back from that hamstring, which, hamstrings are very, testy. Mike Evans, you saw how Mike Evans on Monday Night Football. He should not have been playing. Now he's out to week 11. So you don't want to have the same thing happen with Kyler Gordon and the great season he's been having so far. Jaquan Brisker still in concussion protocol. Eberflus said he's in good spirits mentally, which is good. And you're not going to take the cautious approach because this is Jaquan's third concussion in his 3 years in the NFL. And then you got Velus Jones' era is over. He was officially cut today, as well as Kari Blasingame, which I kind of saw the Kari move coming a mile away when they started using Doug Kramer as the fullbacks at the deadline. I mean, at the red zone, goal line. But Velus, he shouldn't have made the team to begin with. Ever. As you can see on Hard Knocks, that Poles only made it because he was just one of his first draft picks. But he fumbled that ball in week 1, and they sent that nigga to the gulag. It was over for him. My questions for y'all, just not really too much on Velus, but Dante, do you have any worries about Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon long term?
No. I mean, I think this is why we have the depth that we do at defensive back because we know the style of play that both of them have, especially Brisker. Like, he's a real old school lead with your head type of dude, and that's why he's always hurt. So, I mean, at this point, I think Poles is playing for that, and so that's why you've seen these other guys step up. I'm with you on Velus. He should have never made the roster. They tried to, give us the he was the fringe guy for the storyline on Hard Knocks. So, they let him make the team, and you were right. You're right, bro. His explosiveness is there. But after that first fumble, it was like, nah, bro, you doing the same bullshit. It don't matter where we put you. So we all thought that the new kickoff style would help Velus because, there's nobody running at you. You can, catch the ball and pick up steam and go. And he still fucked that up. So now he's not on the roster. But, I mean, in terms of Brisker and Gordon, I'm not worried. I think we have enough depth to where that shit will it'll play itself out and they can actually take their time and come back when they are 100%, because especially with the hamstring. Jaquan, I feel like bro gonna have concussion issues his whole career, so it's just a matter of what he can handle at this point. But with Kyler, I think they should definitely be patient because he is one of the best nickel corners in the league. So don't play around with the hamstring. Let him come back when he's 100%. But I'm not really worried about it.
Hey, Nikhil, can you throw that comment on the screen? It says Bears about to get spanked. Thank you. Yeah, you Commanders niggas got a lot of dip on your chip. I just want to say that right now. I think Bears fans in general, I don't think we're too high off this team yet. I think we're high off our quarterback. You niggas think that y'all the damn I don't know who's undefeated right now.
They think they're the Chiefs.
Yeah, they think y'all niggas think y'all the Chiefs. Like, yeah, look, y'all niggas need to be reminded. Y'all ain't beat nobody either. No matter who the Bears beat, who the fuck y'all beat? Y'all niggas didn't even score a touchdown against the Giants defense. Y'all need to sit the fuck down somewhere, man. Like, y'all talking crazy right now. Mambo Sauce Twitter, Mambo Sauce Reddit. I know y'all mad. Y'all better win on Sunday. If not, y'all gonna be real mad on Monday. But Bang, he said we think we know you're gonna be okay. Jonathan Hart. Yeah, come back on Monday on the show when y'all get y'all ass kicked, and we can talk after then. Anyway, Mikey, what you think about are you worried about any of these injuries for the Bears?
No, I'm not worried about them in the short.
Hold on. Y'all ain't punt. Yeah,
We
niggas
did.
are scoring fucking field goals. Nigga, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, go back.
Man, delusional. But it's all right, man. It's gonna be some real football played Sunday and this, the rest of these 2 months coming up. But I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not really worried about Jaquan Brisker and Kyler Gordon right now in the short term. I just want them ready for when it comes to division play in a couple weeks. Anytime that you play with the kind of reckless abandonment that Jaquan Brisker plays with, you're always gonna leave yourself susceptible to hard hits. I was shocked when the hit first happened that he wasn't, knocked out with Tremble as well. And you can see, like, if you go back and rewatch, his teammates kind of had to like scoop him up. Kyler Gordon though is massive because with Kyler Gordon you're able to play him almost 90% of the snaps. You take Jack Sanborn off the field, and he's amazing at what he does in that nickel cornerback slot. But I feel really confident knowing that at least for this week and the stretch coming up, we've gotten Tyreek Stevenson back, cornerback number 2, and we got Terrell Smith back. So we have enough back there. Cornerback and the secondary room in general is by far the deepest room on this team. So I'm not worried about it this week. But I will be worried about it if, Kyler and Jaquan aren't back in, for division play. And you have to also, you have to worry for Jaquan too, because it's been 3 weeks now already. Yeah. He's still not out of it. So that is a major concern there.
I think that I'm not really nervous too much about Kyler because hamstrings, they just take time to heal. I am a little worried about Jaquan though, because like you said, it's been 3 weeks. He got injured in a Panthers game. The whole last went to London, had bye week, went through another game. I was pretty sure that he was going to practice this week, so that's what I'm worried about. Bang, you worried about any of these injuries or no?
I am worried about the Brisker injury because he is a safety. There's a lot of collision, a lot of contact with that. It reminds me of Mike Brown and Bob Sanders. I think it's Bob Sanders and people like that who careers was a little bit shorter because of the impact that they had on their body. With Kyler, I'm not really too worried about that. I mean, honestly, I kind of expected it with them in the preseason, him having issues with tightness. Pause. Brisker, I am worried. If we could be worried about Tua, we could be worried about Brisker. And he's probably gonna get more contact. But to this Jonathan Hart fam, this Jonathan Hart ass nigga, get your ass up out of here, fam. Get your Heart of Dixie face ass up out of here, man. Get your Ving Rhames. What was that shit? This Ving Rhames shit. That
Holiday Heart.
Holiday Heart ass up out of here, fam. If you get your ass up out of here with that shit. Wait till you see this offense. Fuck you
funny.
In that offense.
I will say this. I've had like 5 Commanders fans talk about they fucking punter to me. Like, say,
I told you, bro. What I tell you. Tress Way, niggas been in love with Tress Way for about 3 fucking years, nigga. This nigga was the player of the game while I was living out there. Them niggas couldn't give nobody else the player of the game. So what did they do? They had to go ahead and give this nigga the goddamn player of the game. Russell Simmons face ass do got jokes, nigga. We gonna whoop your ass and we gonna go to Bali and have a celebration and shit. Get your ass up out of here.
You know what's funny about
Is there a heart in the house tonight? Face ass up out of here.
You know what's funny about the Bears trash? I always will be. Who the fuck y'all think y'all? When the last time y'all went to the fucking playoffs, nigga? Like, at least when Sean Taylor was alive, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, and we know the Bears don't have the best history, but I'm pretty sure y'all niggas are talking like y'all perennial all-star. Like,
we whooped your ass. We whooped your ass last year with a lesser quarterback.
With the Pittsburgh Steelers backup, my nigga.
Right,
like,
with the Pittsburgh Steelers backup. Before y'all get some dip on y'all chip, actually do some shit against us. Because the last time we played y'all on a Thursday, we whooped y'all ass. Then we took y'all defensive end.
He said that was 3 years ago. Oh, you mean the year where nobody was in the stands on the pandemic year? Okay.
Right.
Anyway, B-Dot say, why Bane talking like Joe Torre?
Get your ass up out of here, man. Like, enjoy the show. Enjoy the show with some mumbo sauce ass.
Enjoy the show.
And just enjoy the show.
And you can watch the Washington Wizards get their ass.
We got 24 new starters and new coaches, and y'all still gonna get your y'all still the underdog. So what that tells you, still the underdog.
Well, the Rocco
in your building, in your house, you're 3-point. Come on now.
And the house that is hard to get to.
The house that got no showers. The house that got no showers for players. Yeah, go your ass up out of here. Anyway, let's move on to our picks.
Pots and pans ass niggas.
For this game. Bears Commanders picks. I'll go first for this game. I believe that what time we running? We'll be on at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure your beanhead ass is on here. Marlo Stanfield face ass. We will be right here. Don't run away from the chat when niggas getting y'all ass on Sunday. Anyway, I've got the Bears. It don't matter who the fuck is the quarterback on Sunday. I think the Bears gonna go out there. They're going on a mission. Since y'all bringing up shit, we got 3 rings. Doug Williams face ass.
Mark Rippon face ass.
Joe Gibbs head ass. Boy.
Joe Theismann, where my leg at?
Motherfuckers also have 3 different names in that span. Like, get the fuck out of here. Y'all ain't got no history.
Nigga, why? Where's RG3's knees at, my nigga? Like,
on the sideline.
On the sideline. Anyway, I got the Bears winning 28-13 on Sunday. That's the score I've got. I think it will be a big game for Caleb Williams, who he downplayed the homecoming aspect of up on Wednesday. He told us that he hasn't really thought about it. I believe he's lying, but I also feel like he has a little psycho in him. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that I think he's thinking about as well. What I didn't know is that Caleb lived by himself in high school.
Yeah,
because it was so far from where he was at to get to his DC high school, which was interesting for me. So that's the funny part about it. I think that the Bears. Oh, look, this nigga's mad in the chat. You mad? You mad? Bitch ass nigga. Anyway, I think that the Bears gonna win 28-10, move to 5-2, and we're gonna have a new discussion on the show on Monday. Go bang. Who you got?
First of all, Jonathan, Holiday Heart is all fun. This is all fun. Just know this is all fun. But just watch. Just get you some mumbo sauce. Go to the carryout. Go get you some 6 wings, fried rice. Get some mumbo sauce.
Box, nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Get you a box and all of that shit, and watch the Bears whoop your ass. Now, I will say this: I believe that the Washington Commanders is going to be the first team in 8-9 games that scores over 21 points against the Bears. I do think that this offense that Cliff Kingsbury possesses, I think this is going to be a shootout either way. I imagine this to be like a 38-31 type of game. This is going to be a shootout, but the Bears are going to pull it out, and this is going to be a homecoming game of sorts for Caleb Williams. I'm gonna say I will say bet over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns for Caleb Williams, because I think this is going to be a shootout. Matter of fact, I think he's going to have like 325, 330, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and even a rushing touchdown. This is going to be probably the most fun we're going to see from a Bears game from an offensive side And one of those games that we actually been waiting for the Bears to have because we're not used to it. So shouts out to Holiday Heart, though. You know what I'm saying? Just be ready to watch your team get their ass whooped over some mumbo sauce.
And we fuck with you for watching the show. It's just nice banter. If you feel like the Bears can't fuck with the Red Commanders, then hey,
I lived out there for 5 years. I fuck with a lot of people out there in the DMV and shit. So it was gonna be.
I fuck with DC. When I went last year, I have a lot of love for DC.
I was just about to say I get a lot of love in DC, but this will not be a love fest when the Bears pull up on Sunday.
Right,
they're about to kick the shit out of the Commanders. I'm going 31-17 Bears. No matter what the quarterback is. I think Jayden is really good, and I know we picking our team, but don't get me wrong. I think the Commanders are a nice young team, and they really are a team that's going to contend in the NFC East for a while. I used to shit on Dan Quinn, but I got to give him his props because one thing Dan Quinn can do is he hires great coordinators, and he puts them in a position to succeed. We see a lot of head coaches who don't call the plays on offense who will hamper the offense, but as you've seen when Dan had Kyle Shanahan and now with Cliff, he lets his offensive coordinators do their thing, and they usually get good results. So I think it'll be an entertaining game, but I think this is gonna be Caleb's coming out party to where this is one of the first real games on the national stage that everybody's expecting him to do something, and he's gonna put on the show. And I think it's gonna, like I said, 31-17 Bears.
He said he from Jersey. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to bro. You said he's a Bears fan. Hope y'all have a good time at the game. Have a good time at the game. We appreciate you for watching. It said, Ron, why am I blocked? You're not blocked. If you're blocked, we wouldn't be able to see your comment. You're not blocked, Ron.
Ron, you good.
Ron, you good, my brother.
Ron, okay, bro. It's Ron from Skokie.
Yeah, Ron, you were fine,
Ron
bro.
from Skokie.
First time, long time.
First time, long time. He said, Johnson, we will run the ball. Honestly, you might be right about it. If there's anything I would be worried about, it is the Commanders' run game. If there's anything, I think that's a slight chink in the Bears' armor. Is guarding the run. I think Brian Robinson Jr.
Brian Miniman Robinson.
But Mikey, man, what's your score?
I don't have a score yet, but I got the Bears winning. This just lines up perfectly for them. It's just far as a strength versus weakness standpoint. I think the biggest thing that's going to be important for the Bears and for Shane Waldron in this offense is to start off fast. If you can go ahead and start off fast, going up a Commanders team that ranks 30th in opposing passing QB rating, 27th in completion percentage. They're allowing opposing quarterbacks to complete at a 70% clip, and 28th in passing TDs allowed. They've allowed 12. I think this game lines up really well for Caleb Williams, for all those weapons, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet. DeAndre Swift should have a big game being back against, an NFC East team. The biggest thing for me is how you start off, and then when it comes down to the red zone. The Bears right now are number 3 in the NFL in red zone efficiency. They're scoring at almost 70% of the time that they're getting into the red zone. And the Commanders are 29th in the NFL, allowing teams to score 71.4% of the time in the red zone. So if you can go ahead and move the ball downfield, it should be no problem. Whether it's Jayden Daniels with banged up ribs or it's Marcus Mariota, I don't have much faith that they'll be able to do anything in the passing game. I am worried about the rushing game. That is one thing that the Bears have lacked at this year. They're giving up about 115 yards per game. Quick note, the Bears have only given up 10 total touchdowns this year. That is the second least in the NFL, but 6 of those have been rushing. So, Brian Robinson Jr. is a beast. Jeremy Nichols is a beast. You got Austin Eckler. They have a nice complement in their running back room to go ahead and make it a little bit difficult. But in the end, the Bears offense is clicking. The Bears defense is clicking. I say the Bears put up about 34 points. I don't know what the Commanders put up, but the Bears will get the dub.
And real quick, G, Jonathan, to your point, y'all are probably the best offense we've faced so far, but this is hands down the best defense the Commanders have faced. The Bears are.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah.
This is a top 5. This is a top 5 defense. Total defense top 5.
We 7th against the pass, and I know we talking about our concerns with the run defense. They're 11th against the run, so we're just concerned because that's the only thing they give up. So it's that we know y'all gonna run the ball. Y'all got 3 good running backs. That's definitely gonna happen. But just with everything we got going, I think it's going to be tough for them to score a lot of points against the Bears because we always flip the field. So that's another reason Caleb may not get the yards that people want to see him get, that 325 I've seen people throwing out there, just because he usually plays with a short field. It's not going to be him 70-yard drive, 80-yard drive. It's going to be a lot of 60-yard drives, 55-yard drives. So we're going to see.
He said the Bears defense is sus.
You can't be ranked top 5 and be sus, bro. It just is what it is. You can't, and you guys are a top 3 offense, but you played a bunch of nobodies too. So you can't have it both ways. But you know what? 48 hours we'll see. 48 hours we'll see.
I don't hear that Raven shit either because them niggas are ranked 29th in passing defense. So I don't.
Yeah, they living off name. They living off name though.
Look at who y'all play. Y'all played a terrible Cincinnati team. You played a terrible New York Giants team. You fucking look like shit against the Tampa Bay Bucks. You played the Ravens, who have a terrible defense, and you were able to go ahead and move the ball on them. You guys haven't. You beat the Panthers, same common opponent as us. We whooped the Panthers' ass. Y'all whooped the Panthers' ass. So if y'all want to look at it, offensively, we're about even. Defensively, we're better. We have the better overall team, roster-wise. And I just go ahead to trust us to go in there and find a way. So it don't matter. Since he went, all right, Jonathan. Okay.
Anyway, man, we're gonna move on. We'll be back in 1 minute. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Just got my boy DeAndre Hopkins. How's that gonna help the Chiefs? Will that help their offense? They try to get a 3-peat. We're at the official halfway mark. We're basically official halfway mark of the NFL season. Who's MVP? Is it my boy Joshua Allen? Is Lamar going for the back-to-back? Or is it Jared Goff? We're going to talk about that. And, of course, we're going to do our Week 8 picks. And then we're also going to have the homie Larry Legend in for Respect the Culture, man. So we'll be right back in 1 minute. Well, I'm not going to hold you.
So cool.
Triple-double hat trick, I know the code, too. Ice trade, go for trade. Yeah, we cold, too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
We are back, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Even shout out to Jonathan, man. We just doing a little back and forth. We appreciate you watching the show. Shout out to everybody. I just want to throw that out there too, because I tweeted on Twitter like a week or two ago. Whenever the Cleveland Guardians got eliminated, I was like, man, I love watching Cleveland sports fans lose. And some nigga texted me, well, not texting me, but tweeted me, what you got against Cleveland niggas? I got love for y'all, man. I'll support the network. I'm like, nigga, I ain't saying I had nothing to do with no beef with Cleveland. Like, it's all love with Cleveland, nigga. Y'all got hoes out in Cleveland. Shout out to Cleveland. But I said I'm a Chicago sports fan, so fuck Cleveland sports. That's the only thing I had to say about it. It's not personal. So I just want to say that to everybody who we engage in back and forth with. It's all love, man. Y'all ain't said nothing personal to us. We ain't said nothing personal to you. It's all sports. So we appreciate Jonathan. We appreciate everybody. Sub over here at Dumb Block. Hey, if y'all win, hey, we will talk all the shit that you want in the chat. If y'all win, we will face the music. But if y'all don't, you know, one thing I always one thing I always tell people when people tell, oh, well, y'all been helping y'all lose. You're not going to talk more shit than I will. Like that's the thing. What a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, if we lose, yeah, I'll take it. Look, go crazy. But you're not going to talk more than I will if the Bears win. And I think Bears fans, for the most part, for such a delusional fan base, if you lose, we here too. We appreciate that. For such a delusional fan base, I haven't seen really any Bears fan get too high on this team yet. And that's the one. I think everybody kind of like, yeah, we still got. I think everybody high on the quarterback. I don't think anybody's high on the team yet, man. But let's talk about a team that is undoubtedly good. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs were 6-0. We just talked about on Monday their weaknesses and how, Pat has been playing great. Offense has been playing great, but they're still undefeated. They bolstered their team this week, trading for DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers in football. Yes, he is a little older now, but I still think he's a very good wide receiver. He's been playing with some bum-ass quarterbacks these last couple years. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I feel like with Patrick Mahomes, he can really go out there and do some things. You don't need him to be the nuke of 2017 or things like that. I think if he's just decent enough, this can help tremendously. And if you're the Chiefs, I mean, look, 5th rounder, that's all you gave up. or it can become a fourth rounder of certain things I met. I think this is a good trade for the Chiefs and somebody that I know Pat is going to go to. And if you're DeAndre Hopkins, I know you got to be happy to just be playing meaningful football again. You know what I'm saying? I think that's something that he's going to be very, very excited about. And, I think this is something that can help them going forward, man. Dante, what you think about this trade? You think that this helps the Chiefs, or is DHop a little bit too past his prime for it to matter too much?
I think it definitely helps. I think it's a situation where you have a guy who may not be, the superstar he once was, but he's still good enough to affect that offense, especially with the injuries that they've had. As long as I think with Pat right now, what we're seeing is just a lot of times we put the cart before the horse and we'll sit here and like, this is why I always have an issue with calling somebody the greatest of all time. Even if they're on that track, you can't call somebody the greatest in year 6. Like, it's just, there's too much of the story that still has to be written.
You still from Bang playbook from Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fact, G. It's just too much of the story that hasn't been written yet for me to sit here and just write it off as he's always going to do good. Like, this is a part of it. And so we're going to see how he, battles through this. And his offense hasn't been what it once was. Travis Kelce, like we say, like he running in quicksand. So it's the thing where now we've added another weapon. How do you respond? And so I think this is definitely going to help Pat. I don't think he's going – obviously, DeAndre has to learn the offense, but with receivers it's easier because, I mean, the route tree is the route tree. So you just know it's mainly about positioning and the cadence and things like that. So I think as he gets comfortable in Kansas City, Andy Reid, is one of the greatest offensive minds we've ever seen. So he'll find a way to incorporate DeAndre, and I think it'll help. But, I mean, I think it's going to take more than DeAndre in order for them to three-peat. Like, it's good, but it ain't – I don't think it's enough to just say, all right, they back as the favorites.
Bang stepped out for a minute. He'll be back in a minute. But Mikey, what you think about this trade, man? You want to send it to the chat when it first happened. You think can this help, or do you think that DHop just ain't what he used to be and it's not gonna matter that much?
No, I think this will help. I think a fresh scenery for him. Obviously he had terrible quarterbacks thrown to him, during his duration there in Tennessee. And now, being with Pat, that's certainly going to revitalize him. It's going to revitalize Pat too. Pat has been, let's call it what it is. Pat has been throwing the no-name wide receivers too this year. Rashee Rice being out, Sky Moore being out, Juju Smith-Schuster being out. He's really relied on the Noah Grays and, trying to, incorporate Kelce where he can. So, getting somebody like DeAndre Hopkins, I have the utmost confidence that Andy Reid is going to go ahead and, get him up to date on the playbook and give him a nice set of amount of plays, to be able to go in and feel comfortable playing this week. Fortunately for them, it is a division game, but they'll be going up against, the Raiders, which, it shouldn't cause much of a test at all for them. So it's a good get-right spot for him. And I think it's going to be somewhat of a safety blanket for Pat Mahomes as we see in Chicago, with Caleb and Keenan Allen. Possession receiver, somebody that can move the chains when he needs to, somebody that still can still run routes, can still get open, still has very strong hands for a wide receiver. I think he's going to be perfect for for that room. I also think that, like Dante said, it's not enough. I do think that they should go and try to add, one more person. That way, when you can get Juju back, you can, kind of reincorporate all of, those guys back in. But it's a nice start. You gave up, a conditional 5th round pick for him. It doesn't hurt. You're 6-0, so just adding a talent like that to the wide receiver room is going to make them better down the road.
Definitely. And I also think too, man, that I think Pat just needs any lifeline right now, and I think that somebody who, as a vet as he is, he's definitely not the wide receiver that he used to be. I think that's evident, but he's not going to be a Tom Brady, Randy Moss situation, nothing like that, but he's going to make some plays that's going to make you think, oh shit, like he still got a little bit left in him. And I think he's going to help because this offense, it looked flat this time last year, but it looks way worse than it did last year. And I think it'll help with the timing as well. I always said that I feel all interceptions not created equal. I feel like we start treating interceptions the way we treat earned and unearned runs in baseball. I think both picks that Pat threw last week weren't his fault. I think if you got a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, that's going to even help with certain route running and things like that. A younger wide receiver who's not used to being in that position doesn't really know how to, adapt to, adjust to. So I think that just helped off the strength of that. on Monday when we were talking about Patrick Mahomes, MVP voting and stuff, how he's still in the MVP voting. It's time to talk about actual MVP votes because we're week 8, which is the kind of the unofficial mid-season mark for the NFL. Let's talk about who should be the favorite right now for the MVP award. I mean, first we got to start off with a guy who won the MVP last year, and that is Mr. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's having another great year right now. He already has 1,800 yards, 15 touchdowns passing, 2 interceptions, man. He's having a great game. You got Josh Allen. Josh Allen, somebody who a lot of people thought was going to be, dead to rights this year without having the receivers, not having Stephon Diggs, not having, who's my man who went to Gabriel? Was he go to Jets?
Gabe Davis. He went to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He went to Jacksonville. Yeah, he has 1,400 yards right now, and he's still on 12 touchdowns. Surprisingly, no interceptions whatsoever. And you got a guy who we know very well, Mr. Jared Goff. Jared Goff is having a phenomenal year. He is also thrown 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He only missed 2. He only had 2 incompletions last week. Orlando said this, like Derrick Henry should be the favorite. I wish that this was just not a quarterback award because I would have definitely included him in here. But let's be real. He has no shot of winning this because this is a quarterback award. If we're just going off these first 8 weeks, Dante, who would you give the MVP to?
I agree with everything you just said about it being a quarterback award is just bullshit. But I will I gotta go with Jared Goff. The fact that he has controlled the offense, he has not turned the ball over. He's barely been incompleting passes. Like Jared Goff has been playing really well. And if that team does what we think they're gonna do, where they end up winning 13 games, he has a strong shot at winning MVP. I think Lamar has a good chance of going back to back. But I think right now, I will go with Jared Goff.
Mikey, who you got?
Yeah, man, I got to ride with Lamar. You're looking at somebody that has 15 touchdowns, 1,800 yards, 2 picks. But the crazy shit is he's not the MVP of their team.
Oh, their team,
you know what
right?
I mean?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is the engine that goes, and we discussed this, and I talked about it last week. My gripes with this award, they need to just make a who's the best quarterback of the year award, and MVP be open to anybody. Because Derrick Henry is on pace for something ridiculous. But Lamar Jackson is playing out of this world. He's moved on to tell him Clay Thompson. I'm crying. He's I think something came out earlier this week. I forgot what defensive coordinator said it, but they said he's gone from a run first quarterback to a pass first quarterback, and it's true. You can see it. He's improved leaps and bounds. I think it helps having guys like Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely has shown to be pivotal in the passing game. Mark Andrews is starting to be revitalized over the last 2 weeks. He's got 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Josh Allen is looking great too, but I just think Lamar is just gonna continue to run away with it stats wise. It would be great to see, but for me, if I had to vote, Derrick Henry is the MVP.
Bang, you're back from being Bang Wams games real quick. I'm in a 2-part question for you.
No, I wasn't being Bang's Wams games. I was about to be Bang in 2014.
Now, granted, I knew you in 2014, but I don't know what you're referencing right now.
Man, referencing beating the motherfucker ass. But keep going.
One, who would you pick to be an MVP right now? And since you missed the last segment, what do you think about DeAndre Hopkins going to the Chiefs?
First off, DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs. I'm not sure because Pat and wide receivers that don't get a lot of separation don't necessarily go well. And I like Hopkins. I just don't know.
You like Pat with fast niggas.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I like Pat with niggas that just get off and he could just boom, pause on all of that. I don't like this. This might sound bad how I'm about to say this. I don't like Pat with real wide receivers.
That makes sense.
I like Pat with niggas that's just fast and just can outrun you. He just throw that bitch up. So I'm not for sure about how this is. But DeAndre Hopkins, as he said, has not played meaningful football for the last 2 years. So when I look at this situation, could this be like Randy Moss going to the New England Patriots? And what I mean by that is he was unmotivated with the Raiders. I still remember being drunk and high as hell when the trade happened and telling all my Boston niggas, y'all going undefeated. And that is still the
I
worst.
remember niggas thinking Moss was weak at the time. That he fell off.
Nigga,
Yeah.
that's still the biggest regret I ever made by not betting that those cats was going to go undefeated because I was dead ass serious that they was going, and that happened. Now, as far as the MVP of the league goes, man, this sounds like a cop-out, but I'm going to go the tie route. Peyton Manning and Steve, what was that? Peyton Manning and Steve McNair. I'm going to go that route and say that it's a co-MVP right now between Lamar and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is supposed to be washed. Like, Derrick Henry's supposed to be Sean Alexander, y'all. I don't think people realize if you were to put like a comparison, Derrick Henry is supposed to have been Sean Alexander. When he left Tennessee, Tennessee thought he was Sean Alexander washed. Where did Sean Alexander go to be washed at, y'all?
Where did Sean Alexander go to?
Where did he go, Jonathan Hart?
He went to Washington.
He went to Washington. He went to Washington. Yeah. He was one of the last two running backs to win MVP.
Yep. So for him to be playing in the way that he's playing right now, and the fact that I didn't even realize this is the first time that you've had the game plan on somebody on offense other than Lamar Jackson. I didn't even realize that. This is the clear example of honestly what we wanted last year with Justin. If we had a running back like that, him and Justin would kill folks. This is what we're getting right now. So it's hard for me to choose between one of those two, though. But so I'm just gonna cop out and say both of those.
You know what's funny?
And
no, go ahead, Mike.
No, yeah, and I was just gonna give my props to Lamar for actually, for realizing last year that he was just playing a little bit too overweight, playing the position a little bit too big, and for actually dropping that weight. You could tell he looks back faster this year when he does actually get out in the open field. So, that's somebody that went and took care of his body, somebody that wanted to come out and be better, and he's looking great. The only thing with them, and I think we probably all could agree, is none of this shit matters because they just have a propensity to fuck up come playoff time. So, hopefully this year they can get over that hurdle.
Man, the thing is, Jonathan says, and the running back from Pittsburgh, Willie Parker. Nigga, I ain't heard that name in so damn long.
Fast Willie Parker. That nigga used to get up.
I used to go crazy with Willie Parker on Madden, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the thing to me that stands out, like, it should be Derrick Henry. Like, we're going off the numbers. Already has 873 yards rushing. He's got 8 touchdowns. He's been incredible. Like you said, Mikey, he's the MVP of the Ravens. But if we're going on people who actually have a chance, now this is going to be hilarious coming from me. I gotta go Lamar. Like, he's been showing the arm off, 15 touchdowns, only 2 picks, and things like having a real good game. And I think Jared Goff has been incredible. I'm just not finna pick a division rival, no matter how biased that may sound. Can you imagine the MVP in Detroit not named Barry Sanders? Like, that just sound, it don't sound right. It don't sound right. It sounds weird. It don't sound weird. So if I had to vote right now, and Josh Allen, my boy Joshua, is doing incredible things right now. But if I had to, I would give it to Lamar Jackson because he's just been that dominant. And and shout out to him for wearing the grill. He had the grill on during the game on Sunday. Shout out to him and Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson had so much ice on his neck last night. He could light up a continent with what he had around his neck. Like, it was,
that shit looked crazy.
It was ridiculous, bro. I was just like, damn, nigga. Like, if I'm blinded from the TV, I only imagine what it's like in person. And
have y'all ever seen something like that in person before?
I have. I have a few times, but that shit look crazy.
I remember going to a Bulls game and Joe Forte was not playing in the game, but that nigga must have turned around and the light from that nigga earring hit me, and I was sitting like a couple of rows behind the rim. I said, God damn. And then I didn't see him for the rest of the game because he pulled 2 holes and went back to the locker room.
I won't say at what party I saw it, but I saw it at the party.
No, okay.
It was in abundance.
He said I won't say what party. We know what party that was at. I was just doing Jadakiss did. Jadakiss like the best time I ever had was at a Diddy party. So I'm sorry, I gotta say it.
Hey, he not lying, bro. He's not lying, bro.
We got to keep
The
Mikey out
couple
the
ones,
Rico.
the couple ones I went to, dog. The couple ones I went to were fucking insane, and it's a difference. It's a
There's
Diddy party,
parties and then
and
there's
it's the
Lou parties.
yeah, and then it's the shit that what my man fuck man, I'm fucking forgetting. Bobby Axelrod girl, what she was doing to her man, tying him up and whipping him up and shit.
IP?
Yeah,
Oh,
no. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
The BDSM.
Wendy
The
Rose
BDSM.
doing the Donald
Wendy
Trump
Rose.
shit.
Wendy Rowe.
Hey, we talking
Hey,
about upper echelon white women. Wendy
Wendy
Rose
Rose?
Yes.
would have had me out here.
hit it with that Donald Trump.
I'm just saying, y'all. Take care. I'm just saying, y'all. Take care.
Yeah,
Nigga,
exactly.
I'd have been in Wendy Rose's office for a therapist meeting every goddamn day. I'm like, I'm sick in the head.
I gotta run that show back because that shit is fire.
I'm currently in a Billions rewatch right now. I'm on the final season.
Hey, the funniest shit is I told my therapist, you should be more like Wendy Rose. She was like, what you mean? I was like, man, just watch Billions. You'll
get it. You'll get it.
They're gonna get a whole. They're gonna have an escort waiting for you next time you go.
Hey, that nigga Chuck Rose is a sick nigga. That nigga loved that shit so much. This nigga had a fucking rubber band on his thigh one time when Wendy stopped doing that shit. That nigga was wilding. I'm not here to kink shame or nothing, but that nigga was tripping. He said, "Nasty man, so leader, I name it."
Guilty.
Anyway,
Hey man, this shit turned into summer sessions real quick.
It really did. That's how you know we got to do a new episode, man. But let's get into our picks for week 8, man. We're gonna no London game this week. I saw in a couple weeks they got the Germany game. I'm sorry to Germany, all the Germans out there. They are sending you niggas Panthers and Giants. I am sorry. Panthers and Giants. And also on top of that, they send a Machine Gun Kelly to perform a halftime. This is not a good representation of the America that I love. That is a war crime. That is a war crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I apologize to all the Germans out there. But first game we got on deck, man, we got Patriots and Jets in New England. Drake May looking good. Looking good these first 2 weeks. Drake May looking really, really good. The Jets not playing well. Now Aaron Rodgers has a knee injury. And real LeBron-like. You know when LeBron would get his ass kicked in the finals and he come up? When we had the wristband, the hand when they got his ass whooped by the hand joint. Yeah, that's what Aaron Rodgers is pulling right now. My knee hurt. Having said all that, as good as Drake May has been playing, if the Jets can't win this game, then this one they might be looking at who they can replace Aaron Rodgers with in the draft. So I'm gonna go with the Jets. We're gonna go Dante, Bang, and Mikey in that order.
I'm gonna go Jets.
Gotta go to Jets, man. The Patriots don't even like each other right now.
Facts. That's really key. I'm gonna go with the Jets. I agree with you, Scott. If they can't get it this one, then they might not win again.
Yeah. This next game is a game that was originally in 325 spot, but the Bears flexed them out of. It is Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals hosting Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams coming off dubs last week. Feels like the Bengals are getting a little bit of momentum. They dug themselves a very, very big hole here. This is an interesting game. It's an interesting game because neither one of these teams are playing up to their potential. I don't really like either of these teams. I did pick Joe Burrow to win MVP. I did pick them to make it to the AFC Championship game. I don't know if I'm holding on to that no more, but I just think this Bengals defense is just so fucking bad, and I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts being. I think this is the best game of Jalen Hurts to get his legs back under him passing wise, and we already know he's gonna run the football. And this sounds like a game that Saquon is really gonna eat. So I'm gonna go with Philly in this one.
Yeah, I'm going Philly. AJ Brown back. I think AJ Brown has a big game. Like every time you look up, he got a 40-yard touchdown. I think him and Jalen have a really good chemistry, and I think the turnovers are still an issue. But like you said, coming off a dub, I think the Eagles take care of business, and the Bengals, bro. I ain't gonna say I'm worried about the Bengals, but I just the high hopes I have for this team aren't as high as they once were. But I'm gonna go with Philly.
Man, I picked the Bengals to go to the damn Super Bowl
You did indeed. You did do that.
and win it. Goddamn. Shit. I think this is gonna be a shootout. I think both of these teams might score 40. Like this defense will not be involved in this game in my eyes. But I trust Joe Burrow more than I trust Jalen Hurts. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals in this game.
Yeah, I'm riding with the Bengals. Eagles have some tough injuries on the O line. Mekhi Becton is going to be out with a concussion. Dallas Goedert, the tight end, is out for the game. They already have, I can't pronounce his name. He's another one of the Bloodline brothers on their O line, but he's out. He's on IR. Yeah, so I'm gonna ride with the Bengals. I do like what they've been doing on offense. I think as long as T Higgins does suit up, I think Joe Burrow will be able to move the ball around on the Bengals, and this will be a big game offensively, like you said, Ben.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are returning to the States after 2 weeks in London. They will be playing the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love Favre. I remember when they first compared him to Brett Favre. Even though I hate Brett Favre more than nigga, I hate Aaron Rodgers more, but I hate Brett Favre probably just as equally. But them comparisons kind of spot on because Jordan Love throw a ball that makes you like, oh nigga, that was an incredible pass. And then 2 seconds later, you'll throw it like, we can see you, my nigga. Like he has a lot of Brett Favre in him. Even though they started off real rough, Trevor Lawrence has played better in the last 2 games, but unfortunately for him, he's playing a really, really good defense in this Green Bay Packers defense. The Jaguars defense is ass. I think Jordan Love has a big game. I think Josh Jacobs has a big game. And I think that Jair and the rest of his defense is going to get a couple picks off a young trick off Trev. I'm going with the Packers in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say. Jack Moss played a little bit better last week, but I think, as much as we keep waiting for the Jordan Love, fall off, I think the dude just might be okay. He might just be okay. So I think this is another game where he gets it done. Yeah, I think this is another game where he gets it done. I think the Packers take care of business.
Man, you on mute, brother.
I hit the mute. I thought I put myself on the mute. So that's why I hit it. But nah, man, trick off Trev gonna trick off to Xavier McKinney. Hey, Xavier McKinney is probably gonna get 2 interceptions this game. He's probably gonna get 2 in it. But Jordan Love is gonna trick off a couple too. But trick off Trev, he's used to it, man. He paying the $40 all the time. So look, go ahead, man. Packers, y'all got it.
B-Dot said it's the barber's chair jinx. Congrats, Jags. B-Dot is a fucking Packer fan, so I hope the jinx work. I would love that.
Yeah, man. I was gonna go with the Jaguars too. But you guys know how I am when it comes down to teams from the Midwest going down to Florida playing at this time. They were looking at about 85, 88 degrees on Sunday kickoff. I think the Packers might be able to start off hot, but it's going to be hot down there. Jaguars being home. The money has been pouring in on the Jaguars from the betting side. The numbers come down a lot from 6 all the way down to 4. If we're picking spreads, I would take the Jaguars, but I think I'm going to go with the Jaguars to pull off an upset. Crazy things happen when you're playing in that heat, coming from the Midwest. So I'll take the Jaguars with the upset.
All right, man. Let's go to another NFC North game, man. The Detroit Lions took first place last week with their buzzer-beating win over the Minnesota Vikings. They return home to face the Tennessee Titans. No Will Levis started. Who's my man who used to start for
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph will be starting. I mean, look, man, the Titans actually have a pretty good defense. I'm going with Detroit though. I feel like Detroit is really start. I mean, they're 5-1, so obviously they've been playing well. But I think they're really gonna start getting their groove. I've said all week. I think they're gonna put their chips on the table. I think they're gonna make a big deadline deal. Would not surprise me if they do go get a Max Crosby or do a massive deal for like a Myles Garrett. I think they're gonna put their chips in and know the time is now. And I think Detroit's gonna start to pull off a little bit from the division. I got them winning against the Titans, and I got them winning big.
Lions, yeah, I agree. I think Detroit is one of those teams in a position where if they want to, they could trade a first round pick to go, like you said, get a Myles Garrett, get a Max Crosby, somebody that's locked into a big deal and young. So I would hate that for us, but I think it's very possible something that really is on the table right now. The Titans, they still got quarterback issues. They trading pieces, so this is a team that may start tearing it down already, and they just spent the money. But I'm gonna go with the Lions.
I want to make a dumb prediction because sometimes the Lions play down to their competition.
Yeah.
But the Titans are ass. So
Titans stink.
They stink, man. So I'm gonna go with the Lions on this one. Big.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Lions. L'Jarius Sneed is out. I think that the Lions will go ahead and just, you know how Bang likes to say, homecoming game. I think it might be close for like a first quarter, but they'll find a way to just wear them down. At the end of the day, Will Levis, Mason Rudolph. I think Will Levis might actually play. He's listed as questionable, but either way, they don't have enough. Give me the Lions.
They're gonna be leaving in the third quarter to go to Coney's. You know what I'm saying? Get to something to eat as the game ends. This next game, man, is a rematch, the second of this divisional battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons won a couple weeks ago in overtime on Thursday Night Football, and that's where Kirk Cousins learned about the fucking swag surf. I was originally gonna pick Buccaneers in this game, but they lost both of their wide receivers. Mike Evans isn't gonna play. Chris Godwin is out probably for the rest. It's out for the rest of the year. The Falcons haven't been playing great either, but I think the Falcons are gonna sweep. I think they're gonna win this one because there's really nobody for making a throw out there. And we've seen when he doesn't have his guys out there, he plays dickhead ball. But I'm gonna go to Falcons. I still think it's gonna be a close division game. Stats and things like that go out the window when it's a division game. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons to win and get the sweep.
Yeah, I agree. Losing Mike Evans and Godwin, that's tough. That's really tough. And I know Baker's played well, but he ain't gonna overcome that. I got the Falcons by 10.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Falcons on this one. Todd Bowles deserves to be fired for the shit that he pulled that last game.
Oh, so you didn't like them? He said, "Well, it's football. It's football, and we fight to the last snap."
Yeah, and now look what the fuck has happened. Yeah, less fight than what you had before.
100% agree with you, Bang. But I'm gonna ride with the Falcons. I just feel like we've seen already what the Rams look like, right? When the Rams lost their two number one wide receivers, their two, top two wide receivers, that has a big impact on the offense. I think there's an emotional, aspect of that too, because you automatically kind of feel like, fuck, like who are we going to? Baker's now going to be tasked with going to, the Jalen McMillans and, fucking, I don't even know who else they have. It's going to be a heavy dosage of Cade Otton and running the ball. But the Falcons got absolutely destroyed last week at home to Seattle. I look for them to bounce back. Give me the Falcons.
All right, man. Let's get to this next one. Dolphins, Cardinals, man. Cardinals coming off a nice, stupid-ass win on Monday Night Football over the Los Angeles Chargers. Tua is back this week, and I just want to say this about Tua. A lot of people, he went up on his podium, I think it was Wednesday, and he said that, he appreciates all the concern, but no, he's not going to retire. He's tired of people asking people to retire, and that he's not going to wear the new helmet. What's the actual helmet called?
The Guardian cap.
The Guardian cap. He said he's not wearing that. He loves the game too much. And you can tell there's a little frustration. I'll say this. A lot of people was going on him. And I get everybody being cautious about Tua's safety. But he's a grown-ass man. He's a grown-ass man. He want to go out there and play. He want to go out there and get his shit rocked. That's on him. I hope he don't. Like, we've seen him get hit way too many times. But you can't force the nigga to retire, bro. Like, even if the Dolphins did decide, we'll pay you out just to go away. You think some other NFL team ain't gonna pick this nigga up with the amount of bad quarterbacks we have in the NFL right now? I think that he has to make that decision for himself. He's a grown man, so I get that he is a little irritated. The Cardinals, you never know what you're gonna get from this team each week. We're having little problems right now with Kyler saying that he's upset about Marvin Harrison not getting certain looks. I think it's his fault. From the games I've watched, I think it's Kyler's fault, but I'm gonna go with the Dolphins in this one. I think that they've been competitive in this, and since he's been gone, I think that Tua is gonna help get Tyreek the ball and just spread the ball out a little more. So I think that the Dolphins will beat the Cardinals.
I'm gonna say this because I'm tired of talking about it. If it's his choice, cool. But if his ass get hit and his brains are leaking out the side of his helmet, I don't want to hear none of that. This is sad. I can't believe this happened. We just seen this
Leaking out
motherfucker
the
seize
helmet
up
is
on the
crazy.
field too many times for people to pretend like they care about this man's health. So I don't want to hear none of that shit if he gets hurt again. That's one. With that being said, I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. I think Kyler as I don't know what the fuck. I mean, part of it we got to cut him shooters and bail because he's running for his life half the game, but you got to lock in on Marvin Harrison Jr. You just got to. There's too many times we seen clips where he's running butt naked down the field. Obviously, not showing the pocket don't tell the whole story. But on some of those, bro, you got to just look for them. You have to some way somehow. So they still trying to figure that out. But I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
I'm going with Man. That nickname is stuck with me, Scott.
Hey, that's my brother came over there. My brother said that nigga run like a nigga named Man.
But yeah, I'll go with Man and the Cardinals on this one in the upset.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with the Dolphins. I think Tua coming back obviously gives them a much better chance of winning. I think it's gonna get the offense jumping, and then when you're able to, implement that quick passing game and then use your running backs, Achane and Mostert, I think the Dolphins. The Cardinals are bad. Cardinals are just bad. So give me the Dolphins at home.
Browns Ravens, the first game officially of the non-Freaky Sean era. Famous Jameis will be starting. They'll be going up against Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, and Derrick Henry coming to town. Did you know that Derrick Henry's middle name is Lamar? That's a fun fact that I found out this week.
Jeopardy fact.
Or as Larry David says, fun facts are never ever really fun. But that's a fun fact for you right there. I think the Browns are going to play a lot better just because I don't feel like niggas really like Deshaun as much as they went out there and said they do. Jameis is good to give you 3 touchdowns. He's also good to give you 3 picks. Having said all that, I think it'll be a very competitive game that the Baltimore Ravens will win. I think this defense has some cracks in it. They're not as good as they were last year. And they're just a team that's kind of broken right now. And I believe they've got their eyes set. Well, they will be having their eyes set on one of the top quarterbacks coming out. I'm going with Baltimore in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go with Baltimore on this one. I think the Browns are definitely a team in turmoil. A lot of changes. I gotta go with Baltimore. Lamar putting on the MVP type season. I think that continues.
Baltimore gonna eat that dub like Jameis Winston in the pregame speech.
This could be a letdown spot, but I just think the Ravens got too much. Give me the Ravens.
This next game, another division matchup. A lot of division matchups this week. You got the Houston Texans, fresh off a loss last week against the Green Bay Packers. That is solely on DeMeco Ryans' big-ass bald head. Going up against the Indianapolis Colts. The worst quarterback in football will be starting again. That is Anthony Richardson. This is, like you just said, bang, homecoming game. I don't give a fuck with this division. It's homecoming game. Texans going to win this one. CJ going to get past that little but sophomore wall he's had these last 2 games. They're going to be big, and Texas is going to win this
one. Yeah, I'm going on my AR rants. You know how I feel about that guy. I'm going to go with the Texans.
Texans, they need Caleb. CJ Stroud needs this game more than anybody right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. Give me the Texans.
Shout out to Trillburger Twitter, who got real mad at me last week when I said that he had a little rookie. I didn't say rookie maul. I said he had like a little rookie issue. Not a rookie, but sophomore. It was like, we 5-2. I'm like, I didn't ask you about the record, my nigga. I was talking about.
He threw for like 87 American yards. What are y'all talking about, bro?
The NFC North has a good guideline on how to defend this nigga. I think if you're an opposing team, you should watch how the Bears defend the CJ and especially how the Packers defend the CJ. Didn't have great games. The next one, Chargers Saints at SoFi Stadium. I think they're throwing Spencer Rattler out there again. Derek Carr is still not 100%. It's gonna be a stupid game because neither one of these teams too good, but Chargers at home. I'm going with the Chargers, even though it actually won't be. It's gonna feel like Mercedes-Benz up in there because Saints fans travel too. But I'm going with the Chargers.
Well, the Saints are bad. The Saints are really bad, bro. I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one as they continue to try to figure it out.
Dennis Allen might get fired after this game. He might get fired after this game, and they might just say, "Hey, tear all this shit down." Chargers.
Yeah, I can't see Jim Harbaugh losing to Spencer Rattler, so give me the Chargers.
Remember a whole bunch of niggas was on Clint Kubiak dick the first 2 games. I ain't heard
There was
that
a
nigga
lot.
name.
There was a lot of people dick. There was a lot of
Yeah.
people dick.
Yeah, that was I haven't heard that nigga's name in a long
It
time.
was all they were all Bobby Slowick dick down in Houston.
Yeah,
And look, that shit done slowed down too.
Yep. The only nigga who still looks great is Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson looking crazy.
Are you talking about the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
Probably if Jerry has the cojones to actually fire Mark McCarthy.
His contract is up.
It's up.
He's gone.
It's up.
Yeah.
Well, it's set in stone.
Not only is he up, he talking shit about him. So no, that shit's a wrap.
Hey man, we'll get to Jerry in a minute. We get to the Cowboys, but Seahawks Bills. I think it's gonna be a very, very competitive game, man. Bills been playing well. Seahawks been playing well. Even though I still don't. I think that the perception of Geno is better than actually Geno is. I think Geno is a good quarterback. Definitely way better than he was years prior. But I still think that he's beatable. I'm going Buffalo on this one. Amari Cooper already got a touchdown last week. I think he'll be even better this week with another week of practice. Give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'm going Buffalo. I think Seattle has become that team that is fun to watch them lose. They're very entertaining, but I think it's one of those teams. They're still an 8-9 win team. I think Buffalo take care of business here.
Most def Buffalo's going to win this game, but Geno is going to show out.
Yeah, give me Buffalo. DK being out, they got it cooking. Josh Allen's been taking care of the ball. Give me the Bills.
Yo, this might be a little shade room-ish, but we found out that Coco Jones with Donovan Mitchell. Did y'all know that Normani was with DK Metcalf? I thought that was a random shade room fact right there.
Yeah.
The R&B singer Normani. I didn't know she was with the DK.
No, I didn't know that.
But shout out to that nigga. Anyway, this next game, oh my God. If you want bad quarterback play, this is for you. Denver Broncos, Carolina Panthers. You got Bo Nix, who I think people just like because he's white. His name is Bo. The nigga's not good. But Bryce Young. My bad. I was confused. Bryce Young with a nigga who actually can play well in this sport.
White motherfuckers do not love niggas like with a name like Bo.
He has a sports name.
Yeah, exactly. Look at his guts. He comes.
He's got moxie.
Yeah.
You huff.
Bo sounds like a white nigga with moxie.
You huff when niggas say he stay in the playbook. Like that's how you know that you ass when they say you stay in the playbook. Bryce Young will be starting again because of a car incident that Andy Dalton had. I know he had whatever incident it was, but it was about time just to bring Bryce back. He's still going to look like a deer in the headlights. His receivers he has, Deontay Johnson's not going to be playing. I'm going with Denver. I'm going with Denver in this one.
I'm going with the Panthers. Going with the Panthers just because I don't like Sean Payton.
Yeah, I don't like Sean Payton either.
I'm not a Sean Payton fan. I know picking based on personal feelings don't really go well, but
no, I fuck with that. I'm pro agenda.
Yeah, I don't like Sean Payton either. But I like Vance Joseph in that defense. That defense man. Why they starting Bryce Young this game? They about to embarrass that man. Broncos.
Sartan again, interception. That's all you going
right. Yeah, I'm not a big Sean Payton fan either, but I am a big fan of money. And taking the Panthers in this game means you don't like money. So give me the Broncos.
This next one, man. We know that Patrick Mahomes had this game circled after one of the Raiders rookies pulled out that Kermit puppet during training camp with the "I'm here."
I think Shorty out for the season too. I think he got hurt.
Oh, he got hurt?
I think the Reaper came for him.
Well, he gonna be like, your boy gonna get it too. That's what Pat gonna be like. DeAndre Hopkins debut. The Raiders stink. This is in Allegiant Stadium, a place that Pat is undefeated in. By the way, Pat has never lost a game at Allegiant Stadium. That is gonna continue. Chiefs are gonna win, and I think the offense is actually gonna look somewhat respectable. I actually think DeAndre Hopkins gets his first touchdown at the Chiefs. I'm going to Chiefs with this one.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs. The Raiders continue to be a clown show. I know, like I said when it first happened, those warm feelings about AP then worn off really fucking quick. And, this is the same old Raiders, nigga. And so no, the Raiders are gonna lose. I got the Chiefs.
I'm still sticking with the Chiefs by 50.
By
50, Jack. They about to make an example out of these motherfuckers, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one, and then just a little. I'm not gonna hold you. Core's
Coors Light, cold,
hard
hard
hitting
shot.
fat. Yeah, Core. Yeah, that should have fucked me up. Uh, if the standings hold, the Bears will be playing in Vegas again next year.
Oh, that's the first game I ever covered in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah,
First
yeah.
game I ever
So
covered.
as long as the Raiders stay in last place in that division, the Bears will be playing a road game in Vegas next year.
I need them to stay because I want another trip to Vegas. Shout out to the Delano and the Mandalay Bay. I had a great time that weekend. Two more games, then we're gonna bring the homie Larry Legend in. The two primetime games. Sunday night football, Niners and Cowboys, one of the biggest rivalries in NFL history. They already uploaded the 1994 NFC Championship game on the NFL's YouTube. The Niners, after getting punked last week by the Kansas City Chiefs, will be out there. There'll be it's questionable if Mike is gonna play. It's questionable that's gonna happen. The Cowboys are ass. They're just a bad football team. I love the Dak, like, yeah, we stink, nigga. I got paid, bro. Like, I'm out here, doing my thing. Fuck what these niggas talking about. Y'all gotta deal with me. I think the Niners win this one. I think they start to get a little bit more going with them offensively, and then we'll really Jerry might call a nigga a slur this week. Jerry Jones might drop some slurs this week after what I think the Niners going to do to the Cowboys on primetime.
Jerry Jones should have been put in a home after that Jamie Foxx live where he was talking about that man's dick. So like the man needs to be muzzled immediately. Like if I'm Stephen Jones, I'm terrified of what my father might say next. Like dead ass. Like it's
Stephen
that bad.
Jones and Kendall Roy when Logan started talking crazy.
Boy, he is sweating.
He's been going on a run. He's been going on a run the last couple weeks.
Wilding, but no, the Niners are gonna take care of business here, even with all of the injuries that they have. The Cowboys, man, I had to pick Dak to win MVP.
Yeah, you did.
One time, I actually put a little faith in the Cowboys. They have played like shit. I think that's gonna continue. I'm gonna go with the Niners.
This takes me back to the 90s when these teams used to play all the time. And it's going to take me back to the 90s too, because I am going to pick the San Francisco 49ers to go ahead and do their thing, man.
Yeah, I'm taking the Niners here. Michael Parsons is out. DeRon Bland is out for the Cowboys. I think Jaquan Jennings won't play for the Niners, which is big because they're already probably more than likely down Debo, and we know Ayuk is out for the year. But give me the Niners. I think they run the ball, and this is going to start the stretch that gets the Cowboys eliminated from the playoff. They got the Niners, Falcons, Eagles, Texans, and then the Commanders coming up. So
you named 5 L's, nigga.
So, this team right here, both teams really need this win, and I think the Niners get the tilt just because they'll be at the crib.
I bet you Michael Parsons is going to be on that podcast equipment on Monday, though. You can guarantee that shit. Final game. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on primetime once again. They will be taking on Daniel Jones and the New York Football Giants. The only thing good you can say about the Giants is Malik Neighbors is great, and their defense is really good. Having said that, Mr. Unlimited will have another good game this week. I think the Steelers win, but not in a blowout. They're going to win in like Steelers-type fashion. It's going to be a real ugly game. I'm going to say they'll win 21-14. I'm going to go with Steelers.
Yeah, the matchup suits them. I think the Steelers are going to take care of business. I won't give you a score, but I think they'll win comfortably. Malik Neighbors is really nice, but I think, as long as Daniel Jones is your quarterback, so the ceiling is only so high. So I got to go with the Steelers.
Man, of course the Steelers going to win this game. They about to make Russell look like old Russell in this game, man. I got the Steelers.
Yeah, give me the Steelers.
Funniest part of last week's game when Russell started off slow. Somebody tweeted, "Russ, you're rich, you're a Super Bowl champion, and you get to watch, you get to see Sierra naked every day. You don't have to do this." That was the funniest tweet I saw. Mike, we know you got a roll, man. But World Series kicks off in about 20 minutes. Who you got in game 1 tonight?
Game 1 tonight. I got the Yankees, man. If they don't win with Garrett Cole, then it might get really scary for them. So I'll give the edge to the Yankees in game 1.
All right, you can follow Mikey at Junior_Solito. We will holler at him on Monday. We're gonna take a quick 1-minute break. On the other side, we're gonna have the homie Larry Legend join us for this week's edition of Respect the Culture. We got a lot of stuff to get into, a lot of things in the cultures that happened this week, man. So we'll be back in 1 minute.
So cool. So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.
All right, we are back here for the last 30 minutes of the show, man. I'm not gonna hold you. Weekend edition. We've got the homie comedian Larry Legend in the building, man. You can follow him on social media at Larry is Legend on Twitter, and that is Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram. Larry, how you feeling, my brother?
I'm good, man. Can't complain, man. It's another day, another dollar to be made. So you know how it go.
Definitely, man. We got a lot of stuff to get into, man. A lot of stuff that has happened in the culture this week. I think we just got to start with the story of the last 24 hours. Something I had to add to the rundown. And I see what Dante doing. The add to the rundown. What happened last night? Lil Durk got arrested. Feds picked him up in Florida. The nigga tried to flee the country, and I just want to say this. If you're gonna flee the country, my nigga, at least go to a country that doesn't have extradition. I know the nigga probably don't watch Billions. Nigga, go look what Bobby Axelrod did in season 5 when that nigga went to Switzerland. Okay, like do something like that. They will ship your ass back. The nigga's trying to go to Italy, my nigga. So he has been arrested for murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, I think it was. He is being held with no bail, which is something that when the fans get you, they gonna get you, man. So I just been a lot of comments, and I kind of hate when things like this happen, because then everybody on the TL think that Avon Barksdale, with the way they be talking. But Lero, just tell me like your initial thoughts to this and just the entire situation in general.
When I first saw the news, it wasn't like my first thought was sad. I was sad about what's going on, only because he had taken off to a different level. United Center has started letting him do his shows there, which is crazy to me because he was one of the banned rappers. So for him to be able to be banned and then get to do the United Center 3 or 4 times in a year, that said a lot about what he was going. And then the stuff he rap about followed him. Like that's pretty much what it was. And it's a lot of stuff. I don't really pay attention too much to some of the music that's dropped, but I know he had said he was gonna stop dissing his dead ops and stuff like that. But I don't know how much the music actually changed after he made them claims or even became, visibly Muslim. I ain't gonna say he ain't always been Muslim because I don't know his religion, but even when he became like, I'm really on that with his religion, I don't know if the music changed. So for me, my first initial reaction was that it's just sad all over because it's like you make it out, but the same shit you was running from is, well, not running from, but trying to get away from. I'm not even gonna say that. The same shit you was doing, you continue to do because I can't excuse it. They've been doing this shit since what 2008, 9. Like since we heard their names, this is what they've been on. So it's not like surprising to me. But that man got a family, he got kids, he got a lady, and I mean, every part of this is sad to me. Not just Durk, but the mindset of the shorties, the mindsets of the people who he's, who his enemies are. Just everybody in the whole shit is really sad. They all moving off of hurt, but this shit don't look good, man. It's another black man down this year that we I don't want to say we had some investment into, but somebody we was this is another nigga from the crib we was looking to make sure he, hopefully he made something happen with himself and not get into this predicament. But you know how the game go, man. It's It's just the game, man. You know, you play what they say. You win. You play stupid games. You win stupid
Prizes.
And you know, G, more and more, Chief Keef looks like a genius for leaving Chicago and never coming back. Like, as much as you don't want to say it, but like,
he didn't have much say so in that.
Yeah, he would have died. He would have got killed. He would have got killed. But I mean, he stayed away. He left and he stayed away. And I know I laughed when it first happened, and I laughed because of the
he had
of it all.
Because he had them kids on that record. Anytime you put kids on a hook, you did something, nigga.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you start doing that and you're doing super community service, and it's like, all right, nigga, all right, something's going down. Like, and at first I was thinking, okay, you know, him and Vaughn got off of the shit at the Varsity, which, you know, I live in Atlanta. The Varsity down the street from my crib, so that they got off of that, which I don't know how because there's cameras everywhere.
That's the one that did it at?
Yeah, the Varsity right there. The one right there by Georgia.
I didn't know it was that one.
Yes, it's that one. But
it was some of the spots where I was at this sports bar, and it was right next to the bowling alley that Takeoff got killed at in Houston. Like it'd be like in super low key areas.
Yeah, they be in low key regular spots, but no, it like Larry, you made a very good point, and I guess that kind of put it in perspective to me because it's easy to sit back and say, man, y'all dumb as hell. But these are kids killing kids, G. Like Durk is a little older now, he's 32, but when all of these things were happening, they sending teenagers to kill other teenagers, and even with everything that sparked it with the O-Block and all of them and Tuka and all of them, they was kids. And so, like, this shit is really sad, and it's come to a point now where we looking up, and you see all these dudes are getting locked up or just flat out dying, and, you know, that's not what this is supposed to be about. Like, this is supposed to be their way to get out of that. And don't get me wrong, hip-hop has always been a mirror into our society, and, you know, it's one thing to be telling these tales, but when it got to the point where we really blurred those lines with drill music, where niggas were actually reporting on the drills they were actively doing, it's like where shit just kind of start going left. And now we at a point now where you see the videos, and the shit that scares me is when you on TikTok and you see 12 and 13-year-olds with guns and they saying we on the same shit and we wish a motherfucker would come over here. It's like, well, when do it stop, G? Like, at what point do we get some type of breakthrough?
There's a lot of canards from the wire out here. Like,
it's a lot of them, G, and that shit is scary. That shit is scary.
Bang, what's your opinion? I'm really interested to see what your take is on this whole situation.
Man, from being there since the beginning, I remember when I was doing WindyCityUnderground.com, and I had we did it as a phone interview because Durk was supposed to come up to the station, but he was gonna bring too many niggas. So it's like, nah, let's just do a phoner. And then after that is when he got arrested. When the Def Jam deal, like when they first cut his dreads off and shit. I remember the first year I was in St. Louis and he came up to the station and I was like, man, he ain't media trained yet. But then I think it was the week before I left for DC and I was still in St. Louis, it was a totally different person. Like, I remember telling Plus, like, yo, this is a totally different person. And I see the growth. But that was 2015, 2016. So when you look at the timeline about everything is happening and all of that stuff, I guess I was wrong. I mean, when you try to leave the country in the manner of apparently how he tried to leave it, first of all, let me just say this. He's officially the first nigga that I know for sure tried to leave the country on a private jet. Like, you know, you see these shits in movies and shit. Like we were talking about how Diddy was about to leave and all of that shit, but Diddy ain't really go nowhere. Like, this nigga saw his people get arrested and was like, shit, let me get on the flight to a place that they could pick your ass up and bring your ass back. Also, reading the reports and shit and the snitching factor that's reportedly, allegedly, that has happened makes this shit even worse. And the icing on the cake is that this is California, and California has the death penalty. And under the law, he would be reportedly eligible for the death penalty if he were to be convicted. And the fact that he tried... Yeah, I read that earlier today. Not so sure how true it was, but I read it today and I was like, holy shit. Which I don't see him I don't see him getting out of this. I see him taking the deal and spending the rest of his life in prison. I just don't see him getting out. And it's messed up because I remember it was me and a couple other folks. We had went to dinner and people in the industry, and we were sitting at the table and everybody was saying like, yo, who out of this drill movement y'all think gonna make it? And I swore to everybody that Lil Durk is gonna be one of the biggest rappers that ever came out of Chicago. People was looking at me crazy, and I said, nah, he's number one on the list. I will bet money that would happen. And he was well on his way of doing it. And with all of the changes that you were seeing on the front, it's like, man, he really got a chance out here. But he just couldn't leave that shit alone. And the fucked up thing about it is when Von died, a lot of people was like, yo, you ain't real if you ain't yada, 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 yada. Well, looks like that's what happened. And it's just rather unfortunate that at 32 years old, he's probably not going to see the light of day again.
And what's two things that stood out to me, man. One, like you just said, the star factor. Like we did a studio session with Durk like 12 years ago. That Merc set up. He did a record with Pappy like 12 years ago. This is like probably like a year after L's Anthem came out, and I knew he was gonna be big. I didn't know he was gonna get to where he is right now. And I think that I didn't know about the death penalty thing. It's a tragic story because of how much he accomplished. I mean, the dude sold out the United Center. He's been on tour. He's done all these massive things. And now, I saw somebody say, "Oh, you'll get out, nigga. This is the feds, bro. Like,
Nah.
The feds might take a minute to get you, but they gonna get you." On a small related note, the feds are starting to get niggas for the unemployment scams from the pandemic. Like, it might take them a while,
but when they got you, they got you.
Yeah, the feds are like when your girl bring up an issue, she already know what happened. she got the receipts of what you did. That's what the feds do. And so the unfortunate part is he's not gonna see the light of day. They have enough on him to take him out. The other thing I thought, because I don't take anything seriously, which is messed up. This nigga was at the London game and what else in 2 weeks?
Oh, I thought about that too. Oh,
I was like, nigga, Roger Goodell took a picture with somebody who's might be going to jail for murder. You had that, and then the other was he was on the Bears Hard Knocks talking to Kevin Warren about stadium stuff, and I was like,
insane.
Wow, like that's crazy, just how much has happened since then,
and how awkward he was holding that goddamn gun on Power. I was like, what the fuck?
The funniest tweet I say, see Dirk start hanging out with the Tahadas.
This is what happened. It's just sad all the way around, though, man. It's just damn. It's hard to put into words.
Definitely. Let's move on to something a lot more light than this. But something look, man. I've said on this show multiple times. I am LeBron James hater class of 2002. I have said this 100%. My haters got nothing to do with the kid Bronny. I think that Bronny, I've said all along, I just hope they have an actual plan to put this young man, in a position to actually grow as a player. I don't want it when LeBron retires and they just throw Bronny to the wayside. I think number one, for him even to be playing right now is a miracle. He had a cardiac arrest just a year and a half ago. So not only is he here, he's actually playing. So on that aspect, I'm great with it. I'm not mad at LeBron for pulling strings to get his son out there. If I had the power and influence and I was as great at my craft as LeBron is, I did the same thing. My issue is the reaction to all of this. Let's just call it like it is. It's an amazing moment for LeBron. It's an amazing moment for Bronny. But let's not act like this is something more than it. It's a manufactured Nike moment. You already got the commercial where Brian is hazing Bronny, putting the Fruit Loops in his car and things like that. But this is not a King Griffey Sr., King Griffey Jr. moment, even though both of those men were at the game. King Griffey Sr. is a career 300 hitter. He's a really good player. King Griffey Jr. was Jesus Christ and with a baseball glove. Like, he was that guy. He didn't even go to the minors. That's how cold Ken Griffey was. That's a different situation. So I think it's dope for the James family. It's amazing for them. Happened on his daughter's birthday. Great for them. I'm not mad at neither one of them. I'm mad at the reception. People like, you got to, what kind of stuff you got if you're hating on this? Let's just call it what it is. It's a manufactured moment, and that's fine. But let's not treat it than anything more than it is. We learned today, Sham said they will be sending Bronny to the South Bay Lakers, their G League team, after this 5-game road trip. But to me, it's just like let's just call it for what it is. And I know I'm asking too much with social media and LeBron James fans, but Lyra, what do you think about the moment that happened on Tuesday night? Do you think it was manufactured? What's your opinion on it?
Of course, I think it was manufactured. Like, this guy sucks. I don't mean to say it, but like. I got guys. I just posted one of my guys who didn't make it to the league, who played with a lot of NBA players, and he overseas. He will give Bronny 100 points. I tweeted or posted. I didn't tweet this because I didn't want to get into the debacle, like you just said, how all these people were just so upset. But I posted on Facebook, give me Marcus Jordan over Bronny. Marcus Jordan won 2. I believe he won a state championship. Or no, he won
city championship or something like that. Yeah.
He won a state championship or a city. I know he won a city championship with Whitney Young. Bronny ain't never won nothing. I don't think.
No, in fact, he's the only person to make the McDonald's game who didn't average 14 points.
Did he average 10?
No, I don't. It was low.
Bro, it was like 8 or 6.
It was like 8. Yeah.
It's no disrespect because I believe in black people practicing what's the word?
Nepotism.
Yes, sir. I believe in that because you got guys who, but what I don't believe in is I don't believe when in the NBA it's so many people. Like I just named somebody who I know who could have made it to the NBA to me, that don't get to make it. And you put this guy in this space who's kind of undeserving. And it's some guy who, like they always say, man, it's a LeBron James at the park. I don't know if I ever seen a LeBron, but
I've definitely never seen a LeBron.
I ain't never seen LeBron at LA Fitness.
I've seen a couple Mookie Blaylocks.
You know what I'm saying? Really good defenders and shit. But like, my thing is let it be what it is, but don't get mad at nobody for calling it what it is. Because at the end of the day, I mean, of course, the boy told his daddy straight up, I want to go to the league. And like you said, it's a blessing for him to be able to even be playing. But at the end of the day, it's over. Let's stop talking about it. Let's stop. We got the picture. We got the commercial. Now we got the G League coming up soon. And once the G League come up, we might never see him called back up again. Now they might call him up one more time on like LeBron's birthday, the Christmas game or some shit like that. And then he's gonna be buried into the bottom of the bench on the G League. I mean, he's gonna get his opportunities, but like I just think it has definitely been overblown. It's not that historic of a moment in the sense of he's not a good player. If he was at least, as good as a real first rounder.
Man, if he was as good even as whose buddy the Bulls drafted, Buzelis. If he was even Buzelis good, bro, we having a different conversation.
Which one is Buzelis?
He the white nigga, the tall white. He can.
He the white nigga. Hinsdale folks.
Yeah, he'll be part of the Caucasian Big Three if they get Cooper Flag.
No, I like that guy. He might be better than Marquise Teague. I don't know. I think I'm gonna get Marquise Teague over. Because Marquise
Teague played. He was off the bench a lot. Yeah.
When we was real live in the Bulls mix, like when we had a chance, Marquise Teague was one of the worst players I had ever seen at that point. And I still think Bronny might be worse than him. Like it's cool though. I'm not against LeBron. I'm against LeBron fans, Bron sexuals and stuff like that. But it's a good moment for their family. Let's just stop it. Like until he give me 21 games and not before April. I need you to give me 20 in a game that matters, and then maybe we could talk about that.
Bang, man. What's your take on this, dog?
Man, shouts out to Brian Crawford.
Big shout out to BC.
Because BC don't give a shit. And I'm with him. And here's the thing. Even the Ken Griffey Senior Jr. moment didn't mean shit to me. And I got my daddy in my life. He's in the kitchen right now.
Oh,
Like,
I just want to say that too. For everybody said y'all ain't had no files. No, my dad went to the store and came back, my nigga. So
yeah.
I'm
My
fine on
dad,
that.
I had a lot of male figures in my life.
Right,
My father,
exactly.
my uncle, my grandfather, who passed away 4 years ago. This week, like I had strong male figures in my life, and all of them would have said the same thing I'm about to say. Give a fuck. So what? Like, did they win the game? Like that. If they did that shit and as y'all said it and they killed, then it'd be one thing. But I don't give a damn because they played in a game together. I don't care about King Griffey Jr. and King Griffey Sr. playing a game together, but the fact that they had back-to-back home runs, there we go. Like,
That's a top tier moment.
that's a top tier moment. But the fact that this nigga got on the court and ran with his dad, I don't give a shit about that.
If Steph was playing with Dale, that would have been
Right, yeah. Like both of them niggas hit back-to-back threes or some shit. Like, oh, okay, let y'all. But I don't give a fuck if they played on the court together.
Did he score?
They got a rebound.
Oh, for two.
He got a rebound.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
He played 3 minutes. He played. Savannah walked up and left after this was planned ahead of time. She knew what time he was getting in the game.
like, matter of fact, it was a graphic that I saw that we put in our Some Dude Pod group on Facebook. I think BC shared it. It was like 51-35 when he got in the game. But then it was 51-45
on
when
a
he put out.
7-0 run. Yeah, see,
It was on a 7-0
Julius
run.
Randle put that nigga in the hole. He's a mouse in the house.
Yeah. And I don't know if the shit that Ant said was true, but it would say like, yo, you only played 3 minutes, nigga. You ain't even got to take no shower. But yeah.
Hey, honestly, I actually think that was true just because of how he said what he said to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Whatever he told his ass, man, your ass ain't play. You been injured for 2 years, Nick.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards 100% said that.
Yeah, I believe he said it.
Did y'all watch Starting Five on Netflix? If you watch
Yes,
that,
sir.
100% said that.
Yeah,
I think that said that.
Yeah.
Like if the nigga would have scored 10 points while his daddy scored 20, I'd be like, oh, okay, but no. It's an overblown moment by the media and by LeBron and them. But as far as moments go, that is a family moment. That's dope. But as far as like in the annals of sports and shit, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like I didn't give a fuck about Junior. I did not even know that the Griffeys had another brother. Like I didn't even know. I didn't learn about Craig Griffey until
Craig is the Cooper Manning of the Griffey family.
Yeah, like Craig was somebody that was Ken's brother that was in the Mariners organization, but he was like, hey, I ain't making it past AA, so I'm out. Like, but there's a picture of all three of them. That's how I felt like, who the fuck is this dude right here? Hey, that moment as a father, like you put that shit on your wall. But outside of that, I don't give a man.
We're not even gonna be talking about this on Dr. King Day games. Like that's Dante. What you think about this, man?
I think the fact that it's so manufactured is the issue. Like we would have no issue with it if it was something where Bronny had shown you he should be in the league, but it's really a situation where it's like this is LeBron flexing his power. And also, I think had these things been done behind closed doors where we knew it, but it wasn't so much of them just pretty much leaning into the fact like, yeah, this is son, fuck y'all, what y'all gonna do? That's essentially what this is. Like everybody knows that. Like the fact that we're saying we're gonna let them get this moment, and then he's gonna go to the South Bay Lakers. When have we seen a second round pick get this moment and then go to the South Bay Lakers? Like this is strictly this is for LeBron. This is a part of his thank you package from the Lakers and the NBA. You've made us billions of dollars. Here you go.
The Lakers facility, Clucks and breweries. That's what's in El Segundo. That's what's out there. But anyway, let's move on. Next topic, man. Hip hop journalism, man. I think this is definitely something I wanted to get Lero your opinion and you YouTube bang. Kendrick Lamar. By the way, I love Kendrick's kind of like soft launch, soft rollout he's got going right now. He had an interview with Bizarre Magazine. He was interviewed by SZA, not an actual journalist, but SZA. He also, the song that's the snippet on the Not Like Us video is getting placements. It was on the F1 racing commercial like a week ago, and they played it at the commercial break of the Laker Timberwolves games the other day. That tells me that song is on the album because they would have to license that to play it. and Kendrick wouldn't be getting anything licensed if he wasn't using the song. So one thing that came out, they're doing that. But a lot of people upset about this interview. A lot of people didn't like how his answers about what not like us was. Some people called it pandering. I don't call it pandering. I call it Kendrick being a funny nigga. And you have a lot of journalists out there who wish that he spoke to an actual hip hop journalist. This has been something that's been going on, not just with Kendrick, but hip hop artists in general aren't speaking to them. A Punch of TDE said that a lot of these journalists today are trash, and that's why a lot of these artists don't want to speak to them. Laro, man, what's your opinion on, I guess, like the hate that Punch has got for that tweet? And do you care about Kendrick speaking to Bazaar Magazine and having an interview with SZA instead of a journalist?
First and foremost, I do not care. I think it's a show. What's the one show that the comedian that Jerry Seinfeld has, and he goes to does coffee with the other comedians. That's what sometimes another artist will make you more comfortable. That's one thing. I feel like that could be a thing when it comes to these artists. I also feel like the journalism thing is across the board. We've gotten to the point where not just on music, but sports and everything else, where you have to kind of be you got to go for shock value or go get your moment to stay on TV. And that's where a lot of this shit going. Plus, we got the streamers are becoming the new guys who break records and all of this and that. It's just like the game is fucked up. So you got a lot of journalists who have to play the game because they see, like, you know, say, for instance, ESPN, you got people who actually did this shit for school and they getting pushed out by former athletes or whatever have you. It could be somebody off of YouTube right now that can possibly get somebody's job on ESPN just because of it. And shout out, look, but it's just like they don't have any like guidelines no more for putting these people in position, and that does make these journalists act a little crazy when it comes to trying to get an interview or saying what they can't say in an interview to keep it going, or saying something to make it want people to watch it or want people to click it. It's a game of clicking. You know what I'm saying? They want everybody to click and get the views and shit. And some people forgot music is supposed to be an art form, and it's supposed to have a little bit of depth, and just being, you're supposed to be able to talk to artists the way artists like to be talked to and just take their art seriously. I don't think a lot of people do that no more. But at the same time, it's not a lot of niggas who making serious art either. So I feel like it kind of go hand in hand. But at the end of the day, I don't think Punch was wrong at all, because somebody responded to Punch. One of them journalists responded to Punch in some sassy manner.
Said that he had to talk about it in therapy or something like that.
Yeah, and Punch was like, see, this is exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, which I totally understand. So I stand with the artists all the time. I stand with artists before anything is when it comes to protecting their brands and everything else. And like I said, give me an artist and an artist sometimes anyway, because they're gonna be more comfortable. They know the same shit. They've been experienced some of the same shit. Those conversations are usually the better ones most of the time anyway. Except for that dude from London. He's fucking good. Zane Lowe.
He asked some good questions.
Yeah, I ain't go front. I used to hate on Zane Lowe.
I did too. Just because he was white.
I was like, no, this nigga got it.
That, yeah. But like, man, shout out to Andrew Barber, my boy. You know what I'm saying? I
shout out to Drew. Shout out to Drew. Front of the program, Andrew Barber.
Yeah, that's the homie.
So this is personal for me. It even goes back to the Durk shit, like how, like, just for those who might not know me, I ran an internet radio station, WindyCityUnderground.com, for about 5 years. I was the first to play a lot of niggas' records regularly. A lot of niggas would get played and get looked at me, and then because they got played and looked at by me, interviews and stuff like that, then the other stations come and grab them. I eventually left because I had a kid. I had to go pay for insurance and all of that shit. And that's when I really got into radio, like terrestrial radio. I became the basically overseeing editorial digital for St. Louis radio stations. and Radio One, and then in Dallas as well, and then I moved to DC and did that. So I see it from a independent standpoint, and I see it from a corporate standpoint, right? So looking at it from a corporate standpoint, a lot of major artists don't come to radio, right? And part of the reason why, and seeing some of the things that I've seen, is because it's always in some people's cases, not all. Let me say this. There's a lot of, I sit there and watch Donnie Simpson interview people and get them to open up about anything and everything, right? So it's that thirst of wanting to go viral, that thirst of wanting to go get on the Shade Room and Baller Alert and Neighborhood Talk, and I thought Spiritual Word was supposed to be about God, but it's about gossip. That's wild. And it's a thirst to being on that. But in some of the stuff that I learned, like those blog sites are almost like the National Enquirer. It's like paparazzi. Yo, I'm gonna pay you to go show up at my house, go take some pictures. I'm gonna send you this stuff here too. So the artists play a big part in that, and labels play a big part in all of this too, and trying to get the hot clicks, the hot takes, and all of those things. I even blame sports for this. There's a reason why I don't watch sports First Take a lot, because it's a lot of debating. So when you use that art form and you see how big that Stephen A. Smith and a lot of other people have gotten big off of debate shows, guess who gets left out in the cold? Journalists. If you're not on one of those platforms, if you're not on TV regularly, if you're not on the radio regularly, if you're not in any of those things, then you're left behind. So if you're a hip hop journalist, what can you do? You gotta join the fun, right? So some artists, it's cool with the show, but then you have people like Kendrick, like Drake, like J. Cole, and others who just refuse to do interviews. Like J. Cole come out the pocket like once every 3 years, it seems like, and he finds like a random person. I forgot what album it was, but he came out and did an interview with Angie Martinez. And when I look at, let's just say radio, right? When I look at radio, and I'm talking about newer school, not the Donnie Simpsons and stuff like that, them the OGs. And even she is an OG. Like Angie Martinez, I can't see nobody refusing to sit down with Angie Martinez. Angie Martinez has her own podcast and stuff too, plus she does radio. Angie Martinez is not doing anything for clicks. They're going to come. Right. And there's others that I can name too, but
people don't like him. Elliot Wilson's on there.
But see, Elliot, but Elliot by no,
Elliot gonna do it for clicks though. He gonna do it for clicks. Though. Elliot had to join the fun. Like he had to join the fun, and nobody's reading magazines. Yeah, nobody's reading magazines. I can't even remember the last time somebody has just picked up a magazine and was like, yo, let me read it. Nobody is picking up a magazine. Nobody is really taking time to be around the artist in order for you to do that. We're not reading Billboard and Variety and Deadline, stuff like that. So to your point, Laro, the best interviews I see is artist on artist. I think it is Variety that does that, actors on actors, and then musicians on actors and actors, which is great.
Yeah, and they did the musicians on musicians because it was Coco Jones with somebody that I forgot who it was. They just did something, but because we're from the same ilk, we do the same thing, it's easier for me to be comfortable. And like I said, like I got to give all the respect to Donnie Simpson from the radio side, because I used to sit there and film those interviews at Magic, and these folks will open up to Donnie about everything, but you trust this man. You trust that he's not going to put you out there to embarrass yourself. It's something that I wish that I could do. And that's why I brought up the old shit, because sometimes I wish I never left. Right. Like I know there's a lot of people that got mad at me because I left, but I left for a reason, nigga. And I'm very happy that I left because I get paid. Like I'm happy that I left.
Right. Yeah.
I am the director of content, but sometimes I wish I could jump down and do what I was doing. I wasn't doing anything for clicks. I barely took a picture with an artist. Y'all know what I did, and y'all know. And I You good? All right, bet. All right, let's go ahead and move on. I say that to say that game is done. That's no longer there. So there's some people that are real true journalists in all forms that wish you could go back to that, but I don't know how you could go back to it. So I said all of that to say that shit's dead. Like the hip hop is dead. Nas shit was talking about. Hip hop journalism has been dead since at least 2009. That's when the blog era really started to come. And it's not because of people like Andrew and all of those. It's the people that saw what they were doing.
Yeah.
And tried to manipulate it. When Andrew did Fake Short Drive, and when RTC did Ruby Hornet, him and Virgil did Ruby Hornet, everybody thought they could just make a blog and do what they did. So you had a whole bunch of people mimicking, so it diluted the brand. Same thing with podcasts. Oh, I could just give me some mics and I could just do some shit. So it's the same thing with hip-hop journalism. Everybody think because you just doing an interview, you're a journalist. That's not the case. So that shit's dead. And all of those people fuck it up with everybody else. All of these rinky-dink ass radio personalities that do shit to try to go viral fuck it up for everybody else, because now I ain't trying to go up in your market and do an interview because now you're going to try to embarrass me and shit. I saw Meek Mill get pissed about why y'all asking me about Trick Daddy, Nicki Minaj, and all of this shit all the time. Let's talk about the music. I saw him say that, and I saw him get visibly upset because y'all asked me all of this shit. So if Meek Mill at that time could feel like that, if Kendrick comes, everybody gets want to talk about not like us. Kendrick like, okay, yeah, I got that, but let's talk about this art and all this shit. But that's all y'all want to talk about? Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to SZA. We gonna go to a non-hip hop publication. Yeah. And y'all gonna have to force to read that, and y'all gonna have to be happy.
But that's why I also kind of gotta give Bizarre some love for even thinking of that, because he wouldn't have been that open with anybody else outside of, like, she told him something like, I forgot what she said, like you're a psycho or some shit like that. Kendrick wouldn't laugh that off with anybody else. Dante, real quick, just take us. I know you're a journalist too. What's your take on this? We'll move on to the final part.
I think it's an issue where journalistic standards haven't been followed for a very long time now. And then now you have people who blur those lines for the sake of going viral. And, you know, they've taken that old, and Bang, you've probably heard this, the old journalism phrase where if it bleeds, it leads. Mm-hmm. And that's taken over everything. So it's all about shock value. It's kind of like when we talk about Bears fans, like, yeah, people are going to say wild shit about the Bears because they know we're going to react. They know it's going to get the clicks. They know it's going to get the traffic that they need. And when we turned everything into who gets the most traffic, who gets the story first, it's not about being correct. It's not about actually giving nuance to stories or adding more context to a situation. Because like one of the dope things about interviews that, since we're talking about rap, one of the dope things about interviews artists used to do is you will legit learn things about the process that they had for making an album, or different stories about different situations that they went through. Those would come up in the interview. And that's why Angie Martinez was so dope. That's why, you know, those people back in the day, Wendy, before, you know, she had her issues, say what you want about her gossiping, but Wendy could really sit down and talk to an artist and get them to go back and forth for her. And now you don't get that no more. It's everybody's chasing the next viral clip. And that shit really, for people who are truly, you know, looking for people to ask the right questions, ask the real questions, you're not getting that anymore. It's all about the shock questions. There's so many times I've been places and somebody asks a question and I just cringe, like, why the fuck would you ask them that? Like, man, you know, this ain't Twitter, bro. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, we've really blurred those lines. And so I see why people who have actually gone to J school get offended by these things, because it's like there are certain things that you just shouldn't do and you shouldn't want to do. But these days that has really changed. And you've even seen with the billionaires buying up all of the publications, there's no real emphasis on real journalism anymore. You see the Washington Post, they were about to endorse a presidential candidate and Bezos was like, no, we're not doing that.
Yep.
Like, yeah, you know, shit like that. That journalists are supposed to be non-biased. They take the facts and they give you their opinion based on the facts. But everybody's been bought off now. So we don't have and this is part of the reason we have all of these silly ass arguments we have, because there's no baseline of facts that we all agree on. It should be a point where no matter what side of the argument we on,
These
we
are
can look at
facts.
this shit and say, okay, well, you know what? That's true. You right. You know what I'm saying? But now people be so dug in, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit.
And it makes it even harder. Real quick, it makes it even harder to research too.
Man,
like me and my wife was having a conversation about this presidential election, and let me first say I don't give a fuck who you voting for. So for anybody to say anything, I don't give a fuck who you voting for. Why? I shouldn't even know who you voting for in the first place. That shit should be private. But she was having a conversation with my cousin, and I wasn't mad at the fact that my cousin has a stance on who she's voting for. I was upset about the research. But then, and the lack thereof. Like you watch TikTok and you get all of these weird ass shits, and then you get memes and shit, and then you get biased journalism, right? But then I have to think about it and say, well, that's how they get us. So I blame it on us a bit too, as a consumer us, because my grandfather, shouts out to my grandfather. Like I said, on the 23rd, he died 4 years ago on the 23rd. At 2 years old, my grandfather used to put the newspaper in front of me. I learned how to read through the Chicago Sun-Times and not the comic section. I'm a box score baby. He taught me the box score. I learned my numbers because of the box scores. He had me read the front of the paper and the back of the paper. That's what I come from. I was 6 years old going to buy a newspaper and bringing it in front of me. I was the kid, 5th, 6th grade with the Chicago Sun-Times in my book bag. I would take the newspaper to school and we'd be having debates and shit. But I did my research. When the internet came, I was like, oh no, nigga, you researched my ass off. So that's why even today, even when we do this show, I pride myself on giving the information that's unbiased for what I believe is going to be. That my fandom will come out in some cases, but it is what it is. I pride myself on giving y'all unbiased, unemotional information as much as possible. But when you look at sports, when you look at news, it's always an agenda. That's why even I have a quote backstage when we be talking, producers be producing. Because producers would look at the shit that we're doing, and then they will take that shit, and then they will go use it for their shows. Aggregate journalism is out there more than what it is for anybody else. I even tell my team, yo, we could just publish some shit from somewhere else that comes from my team, but let's make sure we get our own shit out, and let's make sure we see research and doing all this shit. But nobody really wants to do that no more. They just want to take from somebody else and then ask somebody that same question that 50 niggas didn't already ask you. So I don't blame an artist for not wanting to come to people, because then when you come to that person ain't even listen to your music to get an idea of what's up. That person didn't even look at your movie to get an idea about what we're going to be talking about. They just want to talk about who you fucked at the Diddy party.
Yeah. And I also think too, to close this out, and then we'll go quickly to this last part. I think it's also the blame of people who think they're content creators. I'm not content, but think they're journalists. As content creators who blur the line. Like if you got somebody like DJ Academics, you can say he's a journalist. You're not a journalist. So I think that blurs the line with things too, and not just hip hop. It's just in journalism in general, man. A final thing, man, Lero, just want your opinion on this, man. I know I saw you tweeting about our 44th president of the United States, Mr. Barack Barry Obama. This nigga's been going like a little promo tour, man. I kind of feel like obviously he's doing a campaign thing with his Asakin, but he's on the Tyrese Halliburton podcast, talking basketball. He
took over Old Man in the Three.
Yeah, it's called Young Man in the Three now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was interviewing Barack, and I did like how he confronted him about the All-Star. He made all good points. He's also executive producer of Starting Five. But the thing that was funny to me, the nigga rapping Eminem. By the way, the part when he said drop bombs, I was like, ha, you know a lot about that, my boy. But it was just, he's giving real corny dad energy right now. Of course, you got to do what you got to do to, help your candidate win. But, Lero, man, I saw your tweet. What you think about, Barry's kind of like promo run he been on right now?
It's really, really, it's disappointing me, man. I ain't gonna lie. He coming with a rhetoric that make me feel like he he older than he is. You know what I'm saying? He coming with that old Bill Cosby, pull your pants up, sagging is just niggas backwards type shit. Like, bro, I didn't like the way he addressed the black men when it came to voting for. I say her wrong. I say her name wrong all the time. Kamala.
Yeah, I'll be fucking it up too.
I'll be fucking her shit up. But you know, he want people to vote for her. And I already really don't like when they act like the two groups that vote Democrat the most aren't black men and black women. And they got to make it like they got to address us because you see a group of goofies on the internet talking about Trump. That shit not real, man. I saw a whole thing just earlier today where they was talking about Chicago going red. That's never happening.
Yeah,
Never.
Never.
But when you buy into that, Barack buying into that type of shit, and then the way he spoke to the guys when he went to that school and, you know, said black men were afraid to have a woman leader. My nigga, first and foremost, Barack, where was your daddy at? You how many niggas got women leaders growing up, my boy? That shit ain't scaring nobody. A black woman have been every nigga's leader a lot of fucking times. I don't know what he was talking about that, but like, and then I understand, you know, it's just the rhetoric is crazy. And like I had said on my page, I fought with Barack fought with people when it comes to this Barack thing when they try to call him a
war criminal. Like every president ever isn't a war criminal.
Every president that blew up some children. Every president got a write-off on some shit that they don't really believe in or whatever. Like, you don't just govern the Democrats, you govern everybody when you become the president.
Right.
You don't have just one person's interest at hand. And the man had to do the shit with Gaddafi, the shit with Osama. All of these things he had to do is just what the job calls for. But when people get on the internet and they call him racist, they call him war criminal, automatically you sound racist to me because I didn't see you saying that about any other presidents. The only president in my lifetime that I could think of where we haven't had a real live war or any real major crisis is probably Trump. Honestly, I don't think we had nothing crazy going on outside because we had a whole bunch of crazy shit going on right here. So other than that,
that shit was domestic.
You feel me? We was getting beat up here. We ain't had time to worry about. Then a nigga was still kicking it with Russia and all this. But I say all this to say, man, I protected Barack in those moments. I just talked about this just like 2 weeks ago. He turns around and chastises me and my people. Nigga, you are not even a full nigga if we want to be a hundred. You know what I'm saying? You don't come and you're not even like, we could go all the way there if we really like, brother. Your black is from Africa. We don't even have to do all that though.
Right.
All I'm saying is don't let me stand up for you. And then I turn around and see clips of you rapping Eminem on stage. Brother, now y'all know some of my family is on some of his playlists. You know what I'm saying? I love to see his summer playlist. I get to see some people I know on there. It's great to see. I don't think I ever seen Eminem.
Yeah, I've never seen Eminem on his playlist. Yeah.
He might have been on that last one when he had that one song when he was just rapping a whole bunch of words really fast. I don't know what song it is.
That's damn near
every song he ever made. Yeah.
You feel me? But I protected you in them moments. Don't get on TV and rap Eminem. Tell me I'm sagging. Do all of these. You're making me really upset, Barack. And I said it. I'm going to go to my grandma's house. And when you see that picture, you're going to see Martin Luther King, Jesus, and then Harold Washington, Denzel Washington, Harry Belafonte, and Barack Obama.
Yeah.
I'm snatching Barack up off my grandma's mansion if you keep this fucking act up, my dog. I don't got time for this, brother. This is just my opinion. You know, I don't want to speak for nobody else, but that's just how I feel about the whole situation. I love my boy. Hopefully he could stop beating on the black man and just say, hey, man, why don't y'all come with me to the voting polls? Let's vote for somebody who looks like us and just keep it at that. That's what we did with you. Let's just keep it at that. You know?
Real quick, it's the easiest answer to what you just said is what we just talked about with the journalism shit. what happens is that these campaign managers and people, they take these little clips, they go on the internet, they
They be
find
on
these
Twitter too
things,
much.
they be on Twitter too
Yeah.
much, and then all of a sudden they just put some shit together and then they send your ass out there.
Yeah, far too often we are letting the loud minority drive the conversation.
Man.
And we
Talk
do
your
it. We
shit.
do it in every arena, bro. These people on Twitter, and it's funny we talking about the voting because I don't know if people realize this, but like your voting record is public, right? So
Yeah.
the next time somebody arguing with you about voting and you know their area code, just type their name in their area code and it'll tell you the last time they voted. If they not voting, tell them to shut the fuck up. Like that's what this is about. It's so many people that are just talking that want to be involved in the conversation that are not actively trying to make changes. And first of all, if you really know about voting, because I know a lot of people try to tie back to civil rights and everything, and our ancestors fought for this and everything, which is factual. But if you're trying to really make changes, you got to vote in your local elections with the people around you in your local area, and that's going to help you. The federal government is cool. There's certain things they can fix, but it's really about your local government. But with Obama, when he did that, and like you said, since we've been allowed to vote, the top two voting blocks for Democrats have been black women and black men. So this idea that we're letting the party down, no, I like what Bunk from The Wire, bro. Put the emphasis on these white folks.
Yep.
They are the ones who are voting for the person who is clearly not even in their best interest. This is one of the times in our life where it's been clear as day, bro. He's just talking out his ass.
Yeah.
His record on voting for bills is public knowledge. You know what he votes for. You know who he helps. Yet you're still doing this. And then for you to Obama to come out and say, y'all scared of having a woman leader. It's like, no, bro. Most of us fell right in line when she was given the nomination. The vast majority of us, like, all right, bro, let's get this done. Because we know what the alternative is. Yep. And so I feel like, again, we got to stop letting the loud minority drive the conversation.
Yeah.
These people are idiots. These people don't vote. We need to stop being polite and try to be politically correct and call stupid people stupid and say, shut your stupid ass up because you don't know.
Man, we got to bring that back. We have to bring
shame back.
For real, bro.
Shame back, bro.
Shut your dumb ass up. You don't know.
We might need to do a bring shame back series or something and bring Keenan Ivory Wayans as Shane. Like bring Shane.
Like niggas don't even know who they alderman is. I told my wife this, and I had my wife crying laughing upstairs. I was like, man, I lived on North Avenue in Lockwood, nigga. Percy Giles, when he was the 37th Ward alderman, his office was right around the goddamn corner. I knew that shit, and I ain't even never walk over there. Emma Mitt's ass is on the south, on Chicago Avenue, 37th Ward. That's the ward that you could say that I grew up in. Niggas don't even know who they alderman is. They don't even know where you can go up to meet. They don't know shit about what might be going on at the Austin Town Hall and all that shit. Matter of fact, they ain't even went to the Taste of West Side. They ain't look, goddamn, they ain't even go over Columbus Park and shit and donate and do that shit at the Taste of West Side and all that shit. Goddamn, you don't know. So stop trying to tell other people about how they should vote when you don't even know what's going on locally. Like Brandon Johnson has lived right around the corner from West Suburban Hospital. If y'all knew better, y'all probably would have told his ass to stay your ass right over there. But you ain't want Chewy. You ain't want Chewy or something. Like you ain't want a Mexican.
Hey, real quick, Brandon Johnson, it just came out. Brandon Johnson just got pressed about the $150,000.
Yes, he did.
Them gave him in his campaign, and the people was like, "Is you gonna give it back?" And that nigga said, "No comment."
I'm gonna wrap it up with this, man. Whoever y'all, I just want people to do their research, bro. Like, like just whoever it is. Like, I'm tired of the dumb stuff. I'm tired of people who obviously ain't pay attention to social studies class. Like, it's just really too much, and I'm ready for this whole election cycle to be over, man. But yeah. And we only see Obama like doing election cycle. He's gonna go back to doing whatever he's doing in about 2 weeks.
Podcast or producing.
Yeah, especially if Kamala wins.
Hey, that Stevie Wonder podcast that he produced, the shit him and Questlove produced, and that motherfucker fire. Hey, look, Barack Obama got some good ass content with Higher Ground.
Hollywood Berry.
He got some good content with Higher Ground. You say what you want to.
Give us a check, Barry. We can hold the sports down, dog. Let's get a check.
Yeah,
Higher Ground out here winning.
we'll redact everything we just said if you throw me some bread. But
I keep that picture up on my grandma's shop.
oh man, Lero, always good to holler at you, my bro. Tell them what you got going on and where they can find you.
Man, just follow me, keep up with me. I got some new shit coming out very soon. Larry is Legend on everything. Larry is Legend 1 on Instagram. I'm on TikTok now too, so Larry is Legend on there as well. Rock with me though. I got one thing to say before I get out of here, if I can.
Yeah.
Closing words for me. We were talking about starting 5, and I just wanted to say this. This is to Anthony Edwards, my guy. I understand you 22, 23 years old, but when your family is eating dinner together,
put the damn game
can't
down.
be playing Call of Duty, my boy. Like, come on. You a grown
on Thanksgiving.
You a grown ass man. Get in the fucking kitchen with your family and eat some food. You just had a baby. Come on, dog.
Yeah. And also, nigga, watch you get pregnant, my boy. You rich now, nigga, but nigga, you get too many baby mamas, you ain't gonna be as rich, nigga.
That girl on the show was not the girl I just saw on the tabloid.
No, she was not.
She ain't one of the 3 girls I saw this past year. But man, let me get out of that.
Definitely, man. Lero, we gonna holler at you, bro.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe, man.
Yes, sir. That concludes everything we've got for today's episode of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. World Series Game 1 is on right now. Scoreless game heading into the second inning, or heading into the bottom of the second inning. So we're going to get into that. We'll be back on Monday to recap all the Week 8 action. Pavi will be back. We'll recap the first week in the NBA. So shout out to everybody who have hit me with early birthday wishes already. I appreciate that. So y'all can follow me at Barberchair Scott on all social media platforms. Follow the Barberchair Network and at Barberchair Net on all social media platforms. Follow our partners, H&B Media, at H&B Media TV on Twitter, and at H&B Media on Instagram. Subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network. You see the QR code right there on the screen. You scan it, it'll take you right to our different tiers, man. If you subscribe for the $10 Barbershop access tier, you get 25% off your first order at the Barbershop Net merchandise store. That is bcnetshop.com, man. Get all of your merch on there. We appreciate everybody. Y'all can follow Bang at SJR Bang on all social media platforms. Follow Dante at October Zone Tay. Y'all have a great weekend, man. A lot of good sports on, man. We'll holler at y'all on Monday. We about it.